Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where two of my favorite games both involve mining and crafting. I'm Michael.
And I was all here for that intro until we started crafting. But hello, if you're new around here, my name's Oxie. We're a podcast that talks almost exclusively about old school RuneScape. Michael and I recently did a Patreon stream where we started a new Minecraft server. It's like just he and I. We might invite TMD. And it was fun trying to like run around and explore. But that's not relevant because we're not going to sell out in the first minute of the show. We're here to talk about RuneScape. Today it's like a kind of news episode, kind of. More like talking over new content and kind of giving our thoughts on it. Which should be fun. So you've come to the right place if you're here for RuneScape. If you're here for Minecraft, you might also be in the right place. Who knows? Depends on what kind of mood Michael's in. If you're not new around here, you have probably noticed a series of changes happening within the clan within the last week or so. I'm gonna say it now that there's no bad blood. We're not going anywhere. The show isn't going anywhere. TNL isn't going anywhere. There wasn't a massive like fallout. You know, it's not like the people who left were like banned or anything like that. You'll still see, the folks around in Discord for reference. We had some of our admins step down. And when Michael and I talked about it, and it's kind of, to us, it feels more akin to like an amicable breakup that both parties kind of knew was coming, as opposed to like this off the wall, like, whoa, we never saw this coming. Like sometimes, you can be really good friends with people, but not work well in a semi-professional manner. Because that's kind of what the clan has become. Is like I think Michael's compared it to like a business where like we have almost like professional responsibilities at times to you guys. We're managing 300 people in the clan. At one point, we were capped out at like 500. And then we got like 2K plus 2,500 people in the Discord. So sometimes you can be really good friends with someone and just not work well together. There's no bad blood from any of us. And yeah, just wanted to lay that on the table now. It's currently Sunday, so maybe by the time this episode comes out, you guys have already heard from us of what our plans are moving forward. But we are going to kind of hopefully reassess where we're at and be able to let you guys in on what the structure is going to look like going forward. But just wanted to lay that out there. Jamie, Shadowscape, love you guys. Wish you the best in the new clan, and as always, you will always have a home in TNL. So
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah,
you put it better than I would. I you're the more eloquent one when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, seriously, no bad blood. Yeah, I think sometimes people just work better together as friends than like colleagues. Like you could have a really good work friend, but you hate their guts at work, and then you leave work and you're like, hey, let's go get drinks. Sometimes that happens. Not that I hate anybody's guts, but it's just a metaphor. I hate your guts for sure.
Michael and I are the opposite. We work really well together, but the minute it's like, hey, you want to raid? It's like the ZCBs at each other's heads. Like,
I don't think so.
Do you not regain stamina on the monkey course?
Why did you think that was a thing?
You regain stamina on literally every other rooftop course. Yeah, you get run energy back when you complete the little obstacles. That's why have you never noticed that you never run out of run energy when doing rooftops?
I just attributed that to my prowess and my skill at the game.
No, every time you complete an obstacle, they give you like a little bit of run energy back, so you end up like net positive by running laps. Man, I gotta go back to the bank and get staminas. That sucks.
Damn.
That's a bit of a derailing tangent from what we were talking about, but yeah,
it's fine.
We're here, we're chilling. We survived. We persist. Through it all, we still persist. So
you're stuck with us, is what we're saying.
yeah, I suppose you're not stuck. Like Michael's brought up a really, really good point recently that like 4 years we have told people if TNL is not your jam, you're welcome to start a new clan. Not as like if you don't like us yet, you, go somewhere else. But like, this will be like the third or fourth group of people, I think, who have split off and kind of formed their own community from the TNL Xpwaste conglomerate. And selfishly, no, we don't want you guys to leave. But like, if it's about finding your peace, if it's about getting in a more condensed community of people, that isn't so... I don't even know how to describe it. There's a lot of people in TNL. So if you want something like a group of 20 friends, TNL might not be the client for you. But yeah, so just wanted to touch on that for the first, I don't know, how long has it been? 40 minutes of the show at this point?
5 minutes.
5? I don't know. How have you been, Michael? It's... yeah. What you been up to this week? Other than playing Minecraft with me, what have you been up to this week?
I killed Zulrah a few times. I need you to do me a favor. Right click on my name and say look up, and then scroll all the way to the bottom and tell me how many Zulrah kills I have on my GM.
This kind of spoils achievement of the week a little bit, but my man over here has 6 Zulrah KC. God damn! That's the first time he's ever killed Zulrah on any account.
We're doing it. First 6 times ever. No, it's been good as far as the bossing is concerned. It's basically just been Zulrah. I did that, my first kill actually, on my work laptop, which I think is just kind of a testament to my skill and my prowess that I could do a boss as hard as Zulrah on a shitty MacBook Air.
I so wish Zulrah had a death counter. I at this point I don't, because I'm sure I probably have like 1450 KC and like 1439 deaths at Zulrah, but like I would love if Zulrah had a death counter.
There's a lot of deaths. I'm not going to lie to you. Of the 6 completions, I probably died twice as many times just in those 6 attempts.
The joys of learning content.
Most of the time, it's because I've run out of food and I'm risking it. In I don't know. I mean, 3-minute kills aren't bad. You shouldn't run out of too much food in 3 minutes. But I am still taking like 1 or 2 emergency brews, which I'm fine with. It's not a full inventory of brews, and I'm using the whole thing to kill. Like I'm taking 14 food, and I drink like maybe 2 sips of the brew, just because the blue phase sucks ass a lot. But yeah, I think we talked about it last time, but my time during bingo killing Zulrah on the main really helped me to memorize the waves. Not the waves, so like the different phases. Yeah, the phases. So it really helps when you know the next thing that's going to pop up, and you can already have your prayer up, and you already have your gear, and you can start DPSing as soon as you're able to. It just helps to get the kill, because a couple weeks ago, I was watching TMD do it, and I came to the conclusion that I just suck at DPS. Like, I can kill the boss. It's just I can't kill the boss fast enough before it kills me. And I've solved that problem. So I'm using the Sunlight Hunter crossbow, or whatever it's called. The Sunfire Hunter crossbow, I think it's called. And I'm using the Trident. Those are my 2. I'm doing 4-way switches, top, bottom, backpack, and weapon. I might add more switches in there.
Get the 6-way going.
Okay, what would you do for a 6-way?
Top and bottom.
Helmets?
Accuracy.
Top and bottom.
I would keep the helmet the same, because you're probably rocking a Nezi helm, I would imagine.
I'm rocking a Torax helm.
Torax isn't bad for defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm doing the crystal shield also for defense. So that stays on in both.
I would make sure the crystal shield doesn't negatively impact magic offensive bonuses. I don't actually know if it does, but I would probably camp if you're doing an offhand. Camp the offhand. You don't have any 2-handed weapons, so it's not a problem. Camp the offhand. Camp whatever ammunition you have. Camp the helmet. Camp the boots. Camp the gloves, which I assume are Barrow's gloves.
Yep.
If you're doing gloves, that is a little bit tougher, because my 4-ways consist of weapon, backpack, necklace, gloves, and then the top and bottom for the 6-way.
Okay.
So I don't know What'd you say it was? You're doing
Controls top
weapon.
and bottom.
No, for your switches. What are your 4 ways?
Top and bottom, backpack, and weapon.
Oh, okay. So you don't.
So
Yeah,
cape,
then
backpack.
that's probably a fine 4-way then, because I for
Mm.
some reason my brain lagged and I was like, tormented and anguish. You don't have either one of those. You don't have.
Nope.
You don't have an occult. You're probably sitting with a fury. So no, you're probably fine with a 4-way.
Yeah, I'm wearing the fury. I think now that I've like gained the confidence enough to do these 6 kills, I've proved to myself that I can do it. And now I think the next thing on my list is to just grind out a Zenite nonstop until I get a Zenite, because
Ring of
having
suffering is going to be
the
massive.
suffering just more comfortable. I can't tell you how annoyed I am at Rings of Recoil and having to use that slot and then like getting through an entire phase and then forgetting, oh, you're not wearing a ring. That's why I died.
Yeah, it's
actually
it becomes like an uncomfortable second nature, because when I've done it on my GIM, when I've killed Zulrah, I don't even think about the recoils at this point, because it's just like my brain tells me the snakelings are going to hit me and then die. So I'll get hit.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I getting battered for 15s? And it's because my damn recoil's out of charge or something like that. Like
Yep.
I always have a bit of a harder time.
Look at my screen share real quick.
GIM.
I want to show you what I ended up having to do. There's a plugin called Ring of Recoil Notifier.
Wow.
And if you're not wearing a ring, if you're not wearing a Ring of Recoil, it puts a little icon on your screen and you can scale it up however big you want it.
Dude.
And so I scaled it up.
That is atrocious.
I
kind of love that, but wow, that is atrocious, dog. Holy
I
shit.
scaled it up so that once my Ring of Recoil broke and I wasn't equipping one, it put this like, I'm not kidding you. It's like an 1.5 inches across, 1.5 inches high, just in the middle of my screen.
You got to take a screenshot of that and put it up for the YouTube folks, because that is simply unbelievable. I've never seen a plugin do that before. That's kind of funny and probably way more useful than the like you need to summon a thrall kind of shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's definitely something. Wow.
It helped. It helped because there was the last kill that I did. I used my subsequent 2 last recoils to get KC number 6. And so it helped. Like I got the kill. So definitely recommend it if you don't have a Ring of Suffering. It's called the Ring of Recoil Notifier. I was looking for a plugin that was similar to like you need to summon a thrall, something that would like flash on the screen. And when I downloaded it, it was like tiny. It was tiny. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to use this plugin. Unless I put the ring right where my character is, it's not going to work. But then I saw you can scale it up. So it definitely made a huge difference. But the grind now is for the Zenite, for the Ring of Suffering. And maybe I'll just camp until I get another one? ? I don't know. I think having one at least will make Zulrah easier. But if I were to get a second one, what do you think I should make? An Anguish? Definitely not a Torture. And not so it's Anguish, Torture, Suffering, and
Tormented. I mean, I would go Anguish, because Anguish or Tormented are probably both good shouts. I feel like you're going to be akin to hit harder with range for a longer period of time, right? Like you're not going to get, until the rebalances come through, right? Like you don't have any mage strength gear. And obviously a Tormented could help you have some, but the range strength, because eventually you'll get the Vorkath head backpack, right? Like you'll get the boost in max hit. And it will help kill Zulrah quicker. I mean, they're both good calls. You could. It's tough. I was gonna say you can make TMD a Ring of Suffering if you wanted to.
Oh, that's true.
Because you do have to get like a lot of Zenites if you're gonna be the Zenite guy.
Yeah, that's true. And then 2 people could be killing Zulrah. That's true. Because his account is ready. Like he's killed it a few times on his account. So it's definitely not a bad shot. I didn't even really consider that.
I gotta get myself 98 fire making on that damn GIM.
No, you don't.
I think I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it because that requires me to like play Wintertodt while trying to max. But
I think you just need to do an AFK bank standing skill like Herblore.
I mean, that's coming up for me for sure. But I gotta. The last thing I need to do is have, I don't know how to kill Zulrah Spoon at 7KC Tanzanite Fang. And then I have to get 99 fire making at Wintertodt on my dog shit GIM.
I was really hoping I would do it.
Quickest way for me to quit RuneScape in the world. So, as much as I think it would be funny for me to get 99 fire making and then make you get your own Tanzanite Fang, which, by the way, for those of you who have not been around for nearly as long as our GIMs have been existing, Michael and I set a bet. I want to say it was either the day GIM came out or like months before it came out. We were talking about it on the podcast, and it was very much like it's kind of come full circle in the like there was a PVMer and there was a skiller discussing which was more difficult to do. And I was basically complaining that like Wintertodt is stupid. I don't want to go 1 to 99 at Wintertodt because that's going to like ruin the experience for me. And Michael kind of retorted with like, you just want to do PVM and it's not that hard. I'm like, have you ever killed Zulrah on an Iron Man? He's like, it's not that hard. I said, how about this? I said, I'm going to make you a deal, right? If I get 99 fire making first, you have to get your own toxic blowpipe. But if the reverse happens, if you get a toxic blowpipe, I have to go get 99 fire making at Wintertodt. So the bet after like 3 years technically still stands because I don't have 99 fire making and Michael has just now learned how to kill Zulrah on an Iron Man. So there is kind of a competition going, which kind of sucks because like admittedly, Michael's in a much better spot to win the bet because I don't have like any fire making supplies. It's not even if I had like 40,000 maple logs that I could just spam in Varrock while doing something AFK in the main and get really, really close to 99, I probably would do that. But
I mean, you're 81 right now.
I know because remember way back in the day, they had that boss competition KC thing.
Yeah.
I did so much Wintertodt for that boss competition KC thing because I loved that. I was so excited. I'm like, guys, we should like actually compete in this. Like, we know how to play the game. We should do it. And then we had 81 total kills between the group, and 60 of them were Oxie's Wintertodt or something like that. So it was like, we didn't really get as much traction on that as I would have hoped. But
looking back, that kind of sucks because I think that would have been a lot of fun to compete. I don't know. I think I was focused on maxing, unfortunately. I mean, I didn't play my GIM for like almost a year and a half after we created them is when I really started playing it seriously.
Yeah.
That kind of transitions perfectly into what you've been doing this week because I don't think anything else has really happened.
I did a little bit of raiding, which has been nice to do some content with the boys. Got to step into the theater with folks I haven't raided with in a while, which has felt pretty good. I do love a little bit of Tob trios, Tob 4-mans. We did a 5-man, which I haven't done a 5-man in forever. But it's fun. I do enjoy getting into like the team VCs, not like the bingo team VCs, but like the raid team VCs and sending content. It's always a good time. I finally, this is just an achievement for me. I finally got the goddamn Hespori speedrun time. It's been 86 KC that I've been trying to get this speedrun time, 87, something stupid like that, and I've not been able to get it. And I finally got the speedrun time. It had 202 health. I swung a 106 Chally, skipped a flower phase entirely, and then was just begging. I'm like, Scythe, please don't noodle. Scythe, please don't noodle. I have a 30-second Hespori time now.
That's
and
insane.
Whenever Sibling updates the thing, I will be firmly in first place on the Hespori leaderboard for the clan.
That's great.
So that's just for me. That feels good to finally have that stupid goddamn combat achievement done.
What tier is that?
That's master. There's no GM time for Hespori. Hespori is not really a GM boss. But other than that, it's been a lot of agility. I put the pedal to the metal and I got 98. And I told Michael on like Thursday night. I was like, hear me out. I could just be a disgusting degenerate and get 99 this weekend. And he's like, oh, you 100% should. But it didn't really work out that way. I did some agility on Friday. Did maybe like 250, something like that. And then I did wood cutting while we were streaming. So I'm closer to 94 wood cutting now. But yesterday, I had to be a person. So on Saturday, I cleaned the house. I did laundry. I took care of the nest of dirty and clean clothes. I heard a TikTok tip that was like, hey, unchecked ADHD, get 2 hampers. One for dirty clothes, one for clean clothes. And I went, okay, damn. That's tack right there. One for clean clothes that you haven't folded. That's tack right there. But I was running around all day yesterday, dude, going to hardware stores to get stuff to fix a TV stand, going to greenhouses and things like that. I went to Meijer and actually did a real shopping trip. And by the time I got home and made dinner, it was 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I ate, I sat down to play, and I was like, all right, time to lock in and do agility all night long.
And then you misclicked and opened Stardew Valley.
No. You're cutting out some steps in between there. I misclicked at some of the obstacles. I think what killed it for me, and I think I need to stop doing this for the longevity of my sanity. I had a speed run time. I had a speed run layout. I had for my sepulcher enjoyers, I had the floor 1 where you go darts into the couple waves of fire and go right down, which is the quickest one. For my floor 2, I had you run through the darts, you go through the yellow, you run past the sword, you go downstairs, you go through the darts. Also the fastest floor 2. My floor 3 started with darts, fire, sword, all that. The good layout, the fast layout. Floor 4, I started on the north side. So I was going fast there. I was pacing for a sub 6. Whiffed it on the second to last obstacle of floor 5. I got to the end and whiffed it on a dart and literally just threw my headset off and slammed my table because I was that it was so. The last obstacle on floor 5 for me, with the darts and the fire and you got to run 7,000 miles, that one is no problem. If I'm smooth and focused, I can one click through that one. Obviously not one click, but I understand the pacing such that it actually feels good to do, right? What throws me off about the second to last obstacle, the lightning bolts make it hard to see the crossbow shots. Because the lightning is right there at the end. It makes it hard to see the crossbow shots, and it's almost disorienting. I wish there was a plugin or a feature, an accessibility feature, to turn the lightning animation off. Give me the sound, give me the thing on the floor, that's fine. I cannot, for the life of me, when the bright white lightning bolts strike, I can't see it. And it just made me so upset because my finishing time was 6 minutes and 30 seconds because I whiffed it and then I got mad and I went in frustrated and whiffed it again. I got teleported back and literally was head in hands. If I even got 5 seconds off of my floor 5 PB, that would have been a sub 6 minute sepulcher and I would have been free of this nightmare. And I was just so defeated by that. I think I sent 8 runs total. And I was fuck this, dude. I'm going to play Stardew. I can't with this fucking content right now. And I've been doing arty and running monkey laps today because one of my side goals is to get all the monkey backpacks. So I'm at about 1250 monkey lap KC. That'll get me about 400-ish KXP. And by the time that's done, I should be about 400k off 99. So when this episode comes out, I will have 99 agility. I'm pretty sure anyways. I think I might have to sacrifice the goal of the sub 6 minute. I really wanted the sub 6 minute, but it is mentally draining when I make a mistake.
Yeah.
Especially on a speedrun layout. The amount of times I've logged out on floor 1 or floor 2 it truly is I don't even want to finish the floor. Like if it's over 26 or 27 seconds, I don't even want to finish the floor. I'm done. I don't care. I think it's time for me to forego that just so I can get this over with and then maybe go back for a sub 6 post 99. My current PB is a 6-minute 4-second time. So it's not like I have a slow sepulcher time.
Right.
But I really want the sub 6-minute because to me, in my mind, the sub 6-minute time shows that like, hey, you've actually mastered the content. Like you can do it really well. And that's something that I just personally want to have. But I don't know. Maybe it's something I have to put aside. Someone fake it just got an armadillo stole in the CC, so I get to put my favorite response. But what did he steal? It's my absolute favorite response. Whenever someone gets the stole, like the necklace from the Clue Rewards, every single time. But what did he steal? God, I love it.
Do you play with 117?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. That was going to be my suggestion for the lightning, but
yeah, no, vanilla graphics. I don't know if it's the tiles I have marked, but the vanilla graphics are I don't know. So
maybe try it with 117. Maybe that's the tech.
Maybe
the lightning is toned down there.
Sepulcher and 117 kind of make my computer run hot, so I don't know if that's a good idea. But yeah, I mean, we're almost coming to the end. Hopefully, we'll be at 99 by the time this episode comes out, and it won't even be a question anymore. I fully intend to have Sepulcher green logged. I intend to have Monkey Lapse green logged by the time this episode comes out. I think I need to do like 60 more completions of floor 5 to get my 3,000-ish hollowed marks that I need. My last item is going to be the hollowed token, so I can say that I got to 99 agility without having the crutch of the hollowed token. Mima says Brimhaven. You know, I have never really done Brimhaven to know. I've heard it's not shit now, so maybe I could send a little Brimhaven. But it just depends on how much XP is left between green logging Sepulcher and green logging monkeys. I don't really want to post 99 agility once I get 99. I mean, I'm not opposed to clogging for it one day, kind of like what's it called? Kind of like the carpenter stuff, like the carpenter's outfit. I've got 99 construction banked in tables and benches. So like I'm not going to do mahogany homes because I have money and I'm going to just rip it on construction. But I'll go back.
Benches so I wouldn't have an aneurysm.
What?
Did you just say benches because I wouldn't have an aneurysm?
Yeah, because I genuinely don't remember what I calculated. I don't know if I calculated it for benches
all the
or
same.
tables.
It's XP per plank. You have to use the same amount of planks.
Well, it's 122 mil worth of mahogany logs in my bank.
A lot of money.
It is. I have 200 mil worth of unfinished skilling supplies between the amethyst dart tips and the mahogany planks, and I need to just like hammer those two out and get them done.
Please save a fast skill, please.
I mean, thieving is a fast skill. Herblore is a fast skill. Hunter is going to be a What'd you say?
Herblore is not that fast. It's like both.
It's like 380k an hour.
It's fast, but like fletching and construction are both going to be over like 700k an hour, probably.
I was making the day I was doing it on stream quasi efficiently. I think I capped out at like 1.3 mil an hour for fletching, which was fun.
So good.
I actually, what I want to do when I hit 98 Herblore, I want to spend an egregious amount of money, and I want to see if I can hit the fabled 800k an hour Herblore. There is a method
divines?
where if you take super anti-fire pots with crushed up lava scales, you can one tick them to make extended super anti-fire pots and get like 800k an hour. I want to do that when I hit 98 just to see how much XP per hour it can take. It's going to be expensive. I think it's like 8 to 10 GP per XP. So obviously it's going to be costly, but I should have the overhead to do it. And it would probably only cost me maybe like, I'm going to guess maybe 60 to 70 mil total to get from 98 to 99, which like is expensive. It is. I haven't calculated it out yet, right? So maybe it's a lot less than that. To
You
just
got
get the
money
one
to
level.
burn.
I do, Michael. I have a shit ton of money to burn.
I know. It's
right
crazy.
now. Like it's either max quickly, which I kind of need to do, or buy a shadow. And I'm not. I don't think it's time for me to get a shadow just yet. It's not shadow time just yet. I need to buy herblore. I need to buy smithing, and unironically, I may need to pay runners. The amount of people who have said, Oxie, just go in the Discord at the XP Wasters and say, hey, I need someone to help me runecraft, and have people come help you. I don't think I'm going to do that necessarily, but I might genuinely pay a couple people to like run me essence. Because the EHP threshold that I'm facing for runecrafting, it's like I gotta get something like 400k a day runecrafting with EHP thresholds to match what I need to do, which isn't going to be terrible because again, having an AFKable skill will be nice with soul runes and blood runes. I've heard Orania is actually super nice now at like higher levels, so that'll be good. I don't think runecrafting is going to be as bad as mining or agility. It will be slow, but I think because it's faster than mining and because it is significantly more AFK than agility, for me it will probably feel like the best of the big three worst, you know? Yeah. And then I'm still concerned about fishing, but I think I might start drift netting. So briefly, here's the tactic. Here's the order of how we're going to do things, I think, right? We're going to get 99 before this episode comes out. We already have 99. Realistically, I'm probably going to hammer out 99 fletching after that because the day this episode comes out, I'm going home because tomorrow, Friday, I am going to Nashville for Memorial Day weekend to see Noah Kahan. So while I'm in the hotel, I'll probably crank out a little bit of fletching while I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
get the iPad going.
Get the iPad fletching going. Maybe some iPad wood cutting, maybe some iPad fishing, just like AFK stuff, you know. Who knows, right?
Turn on tap to drop.
Oh yeah, the tap to drop is so nice on the iPad. After that, I probably need to calculate smithing and herblore, but I'm way more concerned about the slower skills, right? Wood cutting, I'm not that worried about. Half paying attention for like 3 hours. I got 200k with Michael, with the Forester's Rations. That's and amazing. Redwoods. Literally, when I tell you, I idled for like 5 minutes at a time while we were playing Minecraft, and I was still like doing hella XP. Wood cutting, I'm not that worried about, because I can also two-tick if I actually need to play. Yeah, fishing, true. Barbarian fishing at Chambers is probably the play. But I think
said driftnet. Driftnet wouldn't be bad.
Driftnet's not going to be bad, but I don't know how well driftnet. I don't know how well driftnet's going to work on mobile. Is
mobile? No.
So I'm thinking my main AFK grind once agility's done is going to be runecrafting. But runecrafting is not going to be the 99 I get after fletching because I just can't. I'm going to go insane if that's what I end up doing.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll throw construction in there. Maybe we'll throw AFK smithing in there. But I think if I have AFK time, it's got to be dedicated to souls. And then if I have active time, it's got to be... Maybe I'll get 98 thieving and just sit on that for a little while. Because thieving's only going to take me like 16 hours at Arty Nights. Like, thieving's a weekend at Arty Nights.
Yeah, true.
Construction is a weekend. Fletching is an afternoon. You know, I have a lot of skills that are quick to do. Runecrafting is like...
The next month?
Runecrafting is like... I might unironically be training runecrafting until we leave for Runefest. Like, that's kind of how, unless I pay for runners, runecrafting might be the last bastion of like, holy shit, is he gonna do it? Assuming Runefest still happens. Oh my god, Avengor. Michael, have you heard about that shit?
I did. I'm trying not to think about it. Out of sight, out of mind.
Oh my god.
It's like, are we still going to Europe? If that happens, like, are we still going to take a boys trip to London?
Genuinely,
I don't know.
I don't think we can refund the tickets. So probably. Sounds like you and I are going to London no matter what that weekend because we are in the hole for those plane tickets.
Yeah.
I got an email. They moved our seats, and I don't know.
Excuse me?
Well, I looked. I'm like,
How do you just move?
I'm like, Michael's 6 feet tall. I'm 5'3". I'm not moving seats to somewhere else. And I went
Unless
on
they're
the website.
better.
They
give
didn't
us first class.
They didn't move us.
Interesting. Maybe they moved, like they changed the plane.
I think that may have been what
meant.
happened. They may have changed the actual aircraft itself because we still have the exit row seats, which are nice. So hopefully that doesn't burn us, and hopefully we have actual legroom and not like. Because God, I'm gonna be so pissed if there's like a wall in front of us and we can't stretch our feet out. But we'll be all right. We'll survive. We'll survive. So, God, I hope RuneFest happens. You know,
me too.
Mainly just like as an excuse to see the boys and do all that stuff. Meet people that we've been playing the game with, either for a couple of months with Xpwaste or a couple of years. Right, like we have a lot of friends who are coming out to RuneFest. So, I don't know. I hope it still happens.
Me too.
But yeah, that's the maxing journey. How it's looking right now. The XP per day.
I think you said you were gonna. Did you go on your? Did you give the whole plan? I can't remember.
I mean, right now, like I said, it's agility, fletching. Maybe I'll do thieving over the weekend. I'm not gonna get 99 thieving. I think it's gonna be my last one. I don't know how well construction's gonna train on mobile.
Don't do it.
Currently, it's gonna be
agility,
fletching, AFK rune crafting, AFK wood cutting, AFK fishing. Those are the game plans. Calculated out smithing. I think Giant's Foundry might be more expensive than I want to pay for it. But blast furnace is like 300k an hour. So smithing I'm not too worried about. So yeah, I have turns out I have less of a plan than I initially thought. But we're gonna get there. I think
the numbers just have to go up. That's all that really
the numbers really do have to go up, man. The numbers gotta go up, and they gotta go up quick. Because I calculated it out the other day. Come June 1st, I have exactly 99 days before RuneFest to get it done. So we gotta 99 in all skills in 99 days. I think we're gonna do it. I am not. Obviously, it's like in my mind where I'm like, oh my God, we gotta go. I am not thinking we're not gonna do it. It's possible. We gotta believe it's possible. We're gonna max at RuneFest. So
here's the plan. Soggy Waffles just said, so when you send rune crafting, clan rune crafting skill of the week, getting some TNL GOTR would be a blast. I think that's the play. I think for every skill that you're doing at the current moment, we just do a skill of the week. You get hella competitive, and you get her done.
See, the problem with me and skill of the week, right? If I'm doing skill of the week, it's got to start at like 9 p.m. on a Friday night. That's what it's got to do. It's got to be 9 p.m. on a Friday or like noon on a Saturday. Skill of the weekend.
Maybe we can make this
because
we can cater this to you really well.
I'll just
Screw everyone
absolutely
else.
Fuck everybody else. We're gonna cater it to just Oxie. Because what happens in skill of the week is like I train and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win. And then somebody doesn't go to bed and gets like 7 million experience in the first day. And I'm like, there's literally no point in trying to catch up to that. So I'm just not. Chaos Clark says catering to content creators. How original. Listen, dog.
The man's got a max. This is
I don't
just
have
a
a
secret
response.
way to
just
get
like...
him to do it. This is a tactic.
Construction is still my lowest skill, technically, XP wise, if you can believe it.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I have
It blows my mind that you've gone this long in your account without having the con cape, because it is such a quality of life cape. I know you've gotten it during leagues and stuff, right? So you've never gotten 99 construction ever?
Bro, in what world do you think I'm wasting time in leagues being an Iron Man training construction?
I mean, I guess.
Come on now.
It's super fast, but I guess. Not really a good way to get construction XP.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, I got it.
That it's slow. It's that you have to get it. Right? You have to. Get
I got it with Mahogany Homes. Hold on. Did I get it on leagues? I think I did. MICAAL. Go to leagues. Yeah, I got 99 construction in leagues. I felt good.
I didn't.
It's okay. It's like it becomes less relevant because you have the like all of the, what do you call those, like all the
teleports and
relics.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, all the relics. Like they gave us the 99 construction relic. Like the second choice was the little thing that allowed you to teleport anywhere in the game. So
My-
it wasn't really that OP.
My tier 7 or tier 8 was literally like, why restore at a pool when you could just kill yourself? That was my entire tier 8 relic. Is like, guess we'll just drop the nuke. I don't know. So, what are we talking about today, Mike? Let's spend like 45 minutes, and we've not actually gotten into the point of this episode. That's why these damn episodes are always so long.
That's okay. We'll keep this one quick. There's not a ton to go over with the new group boss. They don't even they've named it, but they're just calling it the group boss. It's like I said, it's a group boss. Hueycoatl. Yeah, I listened to Mod Sarni talk about it. It's really cool. If you haven't if you haven't checked out the news post, it's on May 15th, entitled "Group Boss Varlamore Part 2." Mod Sarni reads it for you, so you don't even have to read it yourself. They just read the whole thing. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you want to go over the boss itself, or just talk about the rewards?
I think the boss itself could be fun to talk about because I think it kind of sets up. It could set up a new niche. I think they're not going to do it, so we kind of missed the opportunity to set up a new niche of enemy classes. So Hueycoatl is like the serpent of the mountain, right? The word Coatl is an Aztec term for serpent, right?
Oh, nice.
Quetzalcoatl is like the serpent god, right? And they have since kind of changed it to a draconic boss, which makes sense. I mean, if you look at like the Eastern dragons, those are very serpent-like in shape. I think they kind of missed an opportunity here because this is like a South American inspired region, right? It's that kind of like Aztec inspiration. They missed an opportunity to create a serpent class of enemy and make like serpent bane weapons. Because if you think about it, right, no serpent bane weapon is going to outclass the T-Bow and Shadow with Zulrah. It might be second, third, fourth best in slot if it's Serpent's Bane, right? Because interestingly enough, if you want to, they're talking in the blog post about the lore implications about Hueycoatl and how it being a dragon changes the lore. Because again, Coatls aren't dragons; they're serpents, right? From the historical background. Zulrah is also technically draconic. Zulrah was an experiment from the lore. It's an experiment of a dragonkin that failed. And when the specimen failed, the dragonkin dumped it in this toxic swamp because they're like, it's a shitty specimen. It's going to die. Who cares? And then it grew to be like 60 feet long and became Zulrah, right? So technically, Zulrah is a creation of a draconic entity. So Zulrah could be draconic if they really wanted it to. I don't think they're going to do that. And that's probably a good choice. But they definitely missed an opportunity to make a serpent class enemy. Worms would not fall under that because worms fall under draconic class. But if you have an entire region dedicated to like a South American influences, right? You could have Coatl be weak to Serpent's Bane. You could have Zulrah be weak to it. You could have Jormungandr from the quest be weak to it. You could make Leviathan weak to it. I don't know if Leviathan's considered a serpent because I think Leviathan's a fish, technically, but I think we're getting a little too real world specific in our point and click fantasy video game.
Right.
Because I know I think there were creatures called like Leviathan that lived like millions of years ago, Mesozoic period, just big ass fish. But yeah, I don't know. I think making it draconic is fine. But I don't think it I don't know. They missed an opportunity to make a new class of enemy. And I think we've kind of talked about it before. New classes of enemies are how we avoid power creep because we have that horizontal expansion, right? Because again, what could expand and be cooler, right? If we only have one or two serpents in the game, cool. but what could become a lot better, right? When
and you can make more in the future.
Yeah, when Dragonbane stuff came out, who did we have? Olm and Chromatic and Metal Dragons? It's literally it. We didn't even have any... We had Elvarg. No one's going to bring a fucking Dragon Hunter Lance to kill Elvarg, right? But we didn't have Dragon Slayer 2 when Dragonbane came out. We didn't have Vorkath when Dragonbane came out. We didn't have Hydra when Dragonbane came out. So, like, you know, there is opportunity for a species Bane to expand. So that it's a disappointing missed opportunity, but I think they're managing to navigate it well enough. I don't know.
Yeah. Vengor said that in the recording movie, said they made that boss draconic solely because Reddit cried. It's a little ridiculous. I think it was a mixture of Reddit and the survey that they put out, which at the top of this, it says, thanks to the more than 6,000 of you who filled out the survey, we're back with some changes. So the top of the survey, it says, the Hueycoatl is now classified as a draconic creature and will be weak to Dragonbane weaponry. And they said something about, like, you guys noticed it had wings, and so dragons have wings. I think you're right, though. It would have been really cool.
So do coatls. Look up Coatl. Just look up the root word coatl. They're literally winged serpents in Aztec culture.
Yeah. So and they don't just name stuff just to name it. You know? Like, I would be perfectly fine if they backtracked. Like, they walked this back and said, well...
There's no way. They have to redesign
they're not
their
going
reward space again.
Right. They're not going to. But, I mean, the poll is live right now. So everybody could vote and say no, that they don't want it to be draconic, that they don't want a Dragonbane weapon to come from this. I'll give it to them that having a magic-based Dragonbane weapon does kind of round out the combat triangle. We have a melee one and we have a ranged one. So, you know, having this at the mage hand at Ulm would be kind of cool. And it kind of fits too. Like, I'm not complaining that they are classifying this as a dragon because they're going to be doing a lot of rebalancing with the combat and making dragons weak to spells, specific spells. This kind of fits perfectly into what they're wanting to do with magic. So it's not the worst thing that could have happened, but, you know, it's a missed opportunity, I think, to make a new class of something to where more snakes are more prevalent in the game.
Yeah. I mean, the new, just to kind of shift into the rewards, the Dragonbane wand, cool. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, so earlier,
the Hueycoatl wand.
I had a question, and it was, is this new wand, because it can auto cast spells, I believe, are they removing the tick delay from auto casting? I think want to say that's something they're talking about. So this will become a 4-tick wand eventually, theoretically, right? I haven't validated that yet. I'm not 100% sure if that's happening.
It's a 5-tick now.
It's 5-tick now, but if they remove the auto cast delay, like they're planning on doing, at least I think they talked about that in one of their rebalance blogs. If they remove that, then it becomes 4-tick in line with the tridents and the sang staff, things like that. I wanted to do a little bit of math earlier, and I thought to myself, what if we put this up against Ulm's right hand? Put this up against the Great Ulm's mage hand, right? Because I thought to myself, the new wand, plus the potential rebalance changes, plus the potential changes to Great Ulm itself, because we don't know if all dragons have a weakness to a certain spell type. Does that include Ulm and Hydra? You know, like the magic defense is relatively high on some of these creatures. It's really low on Ulm's hand, obviously, because it's the mage hand. But, like, is it possible that this could become the new second best in slot weapon? It's not going to beat the Shadow. If you have absolute max mage, it's never going to beat the Shadow. Nothing ever will beat the Shadow. Just like nothing will ever beat the T-bow at Ulm's head. either, right?
Yeah.
You know, the mega rares are supposed to be best in slot for a reason. I did the DPS calcs right now with the Kodai as a replacement without the Dragonbane percentage calculation. It is about 50% worse than a Trident of the Swamp. So if you were to go in there and auto cast Earth Surge, right? With Kodai and absolute max mage, your max hits at 32, 4.4 damage per second. Regular Trident, your max hits in the same setup, right, is a 45, 7.8 DPS a second. Interestingly enough, the Sankstaff doesn't change too much from your DPS. So the Sankstaff is only, your max hits 46 with the same setup. Shadow, it's insane. It's like 10 damage per second. Your max hits like a 65. Like it doesn't, the Shadow doesn't, that doesn't really come into play here. And I'm hoping it calculated the overloads properly. But even so, right, it just doesn't, maybe bumping it down to 4 tick, maybe that 20% damage increase, and maybe a potential for Olm to have an elemental weakness could make this a half decent weapon to use at Olm, right?
Right.
Because before they changed it, I was originally like, why do we have a 3-tick wand that's worse than the Warp Scepter? And someone made a good point that like the ham joint sucks. So does a Swiftblade. But they're best in slot at Theater of Blood Nylos. I'm like, ooh, maybe it could be a 3-tick magic weapon for Nylos, but they've changed that. So I don't know. I think it's a fine enough addition, but I'm interested to see how and where this works.
Yeah, obviously metas will be developed. People will figure out niches for everything. Maybe the Tome of Earth comes into play. There's 3 tomes now: water, fire, and then Earth is coming out. So like maybe Olm has a specific weakness to one of those, and you don't use Earth Surge or whatever it is.
Yeah, but even so, like if it's an elemental weakness, right? In theory, you can 4-tick attack. Again, this is if that changes a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
You 4-tick attack with any surge spell, any elemental surge spell that it's weak to. It could increase in damage with the 20% extra damage, right? Depending on how rare it is, like this could be a good pre-Trident option for people going to Chambers. It could be better than the Warp Scepter at Chambers specifically. I don't know yet. I haven't seen the actual numbers. I tried to replace it with a Kodai wand because I'm like, that's as close as I can get. I didn't adjust any of the like random percentages or anything like that. So maybe my calculations aren't correct. At the moment, we just have to wait and see. Because I was kind of excited at first. I'm like, ooh, hold on. We could be cooking with something. But I think they say it in the blog that like, we need to just wait for the rebalance changes to go live before we start trying to fit things in niches. Because we don't even know where the gaps in damage are anymore. Right? We don't know what needs to be buffed or nerfed, you know?
I'm glad that magic is getting attention outside of just like, hey, the shadow exists. It's nice.
I've heard
especially with dragons.
The rebalance changes are, from what I've heard, kind of indirectly nerfing the shadow. Because you're not really going to take like an eternal boot swap anywhere. You know, unless you like absolutely need to. Like you're not going to take like an 8 or 9 way switch to do stuff. So the shadow might be getting a little bit of a nerf.
Right.
Not directly, of course. The weapon itself is still going to be insanely powerful, but as far as like getting the full magic damage potential, you might not be there. In like a raid, for example.
I guess we'll find out. The next reward that kind of like I was a bit surprised is a new range set. Like, did we order that? Did we order a new range set? Who asked for this? But it's going to be slightly better than Blessed D'hide with a better prayer bonus and better magic defense. Again, who asked for this? It seems to be like if this is going to be uber expensive because it comes from one specific boss, dead content. Because like what's the alternative? You have Missouri, even unfortified. It's fairly decent, right? And it's obviously still expensive, but I don't know. I haven't done too much digging into this, but this one kind of threw me through a loop here. Unless it's going to be cheap. But again, like stuff that comes from new bosses that are hyper specific to that boss, it's going to be expensive. Like Sunfire armor or whatever it is, like the thing that's supposed to be like an upgrade to Proselyte, wildly too expensive for what it is. At least right now. Maybe in a couple of years we'll see that slow, like that those numbers come down.
I mean, the full Fnatic set is only 20 mil.
Only.
No, I mean, think about it though. Like, it's a significant upgrade over Proselyte. The full Proselyte set is what, 20k, right? Look at the Arims to Virtus jump. Look at the Carols to regular Missouri jump, right? When you go up a tier in armor, Fighter Torso and Obsidian Legs to full Bandos is a kind of significant jump. Now, obviously, there are some examples where, like, Virtus to Ancestral or Bandos to Torva is the worst offender of them all. Because you go from a 20 mil, 40 mil set to like an 800 mil armor set that you need to get, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's out of pocket that Fnatic armor is that expensive because it serves as a direct upgrade. The range armor for me is kind of like I sat down at a restaurant with the boys and the waitress walked up to us and said, "Who ordered the cheese fries?" And everyone said, "Not us." And the waitress said, "All right, whatever." Slapped him on the table and said, "Welcome to wherever. Have free cheese fries." That's kind of how it feels, Like, cool. We're getting an upgrade to Blessed D'Hide. Like an upgrade over Blessed D'Hide, which maybe this serves some weird, like, AFK range training thing where you have more prayer points. And it is also just better defensively. I don't know how it stacks up against Carols. Might be worth it to check that out. So, let me see. Osrs Carol's top. Where's Carol's top at one point? So, defensively speaking, the new Hueycoatl body has
56 magic defense.
It's got better melee defenses, but it has slightly worse. It's got a slightly worse range defense and a pretty, I don't want to say significantly, but like it's got 9 less than Carol's for mage defensive purposes. So like think if you're tanking Zammy, mage is still, or Carol's is still going to be best in slot, but that's a pretty decent, like, is it like significantly better than Blessed D'Hide? Osrs Blessed D'Hide top. It's funny, it has the exact same defensive bonuses for melee as Dragonhide. It's just got an objectively better magic defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess like the hard part for me is if you're using prayer, then like magic and range and all, like your defense bonuses don't usually matter because you're usually if you're using prayer gear, that's the focus.
Mm-hmm.
So like add like what is it called? So Proselyte can have the same stats as adamant armor, and people take it because it doesn't matter because you're praying melee anyway. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's like the Proselyte for range, which is fine. It'll fit a niche of people wanting to just use like a Venator bow and train Slayer, but not really care about the defense bonuses. Because I'm sure it probably has similar attack bonuses as well. Besides, like it doesn't have range strength, but it has the top has 30 attack bonus, which if I remember correctly,
it's the same
range
as
attack doesn't really matter.
It's accuracy, which like a lot of the things that you're going to be killing with range at that level don't have the range defense to kind of warrant like needing a shit ton of accuracy or needing a special mechanic like anti-dragon or like T-bow kind of mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe as long as how about this, right? If it looks sick as fuck,
that's what I was thinking.
Like that is Jerv, you got to cook up something that is so so sick for this armor, and I'm
Yeah.
absolutely sold. Right?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't
The
know.
only way it's gonna be good is if it looks good. It's like the +8 prayer really isn't gonna make you want to spend 30 mil more. But like if it looks really cool, that's like
It
the
might
rule
not
of
be
cool
30
wins.
mil though, is the thing. And it might not be a 30 mil increase.
I'm just throwing out numbers.
It'll be expensive
new
on
items
day
are
one.
always
It'll be
expensive.
expensive week one. Yeah, I mean they always
Yeah.
are. You want to talk about expensive though? That I'm thinking is gonna be like the actual consistent moneymaker from the boss. The new fucking herb seeds.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be like, it's gonna be the absolute opposite of what TOA did to seeds. Remember the first week of TOA? TOA was money that first week.
Yeah.
Between the dragon dart tips and all like the big money seeds. Oh my god. Boys, that first week of TOA, man, there really was nothing else like it. But the new seed for the new herb that coincides with the herb lore minigame.
Kind of cool. They haven't named it yet, but the new seed is set to basically give you the ability to make a new prayer regeneration potion. So yes, the prayer regeneration potion is a reward from this boss, but it more so is like tertiary in that sense. Like you're getting the seed to grow the herb, and potentially I think they said like maybe the secondary even from
the
the boss
secondary
itself.
comes from the herb lore minigame, I'm pretty sure.
Once you've got the herb, combine it with the new secondary. Oh yeah, so combine it with the secondary from the herbal activity to create this powerful potion. Note that the Chambers of Zarek's prayer enhance is actually much better, but this potion is something you can carry to locations where recharging your prayer is inconvenient. So how this breaks down essentially is you'll get 1 prayer point every 12 ticks for 8 minutes, which should give you around 8 prayer points per minute for a total of 66 over the course of that one dose. So if you have 99 prayer and using protection prayers, normally that would last about 5 minutes. And with the prayer regen, you would get an extra 2 minutes on top of it.
So here's my question with the prayer regen potion. Does it give prayer points back? I don't think it does. It doesn't give prayer points. So it's when you sip a regular prayer pot, you get 30 something prayer points, right? It doesn't give you those prayer points immediately. It's an overtime kind of effect.
Yes.
Maybe
66
can
points
this be pot
over
shared?
8 minutes. Ooh.
Because if this could be pot shared, this could be really nice some places. I'm thinking like it's probably a waste of an inventory space. But like make the guy on Lunar's pot share this before Verzik. You know? It's probably a waste of an inventory space.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think this,
there's a lot of places where I think not just AFK, right? Because that's what your brain goes to. It's like you're trying to just do AFK Slayer, couple this with like a Bone Crusher in the catacombs, and you almost never run out of prayer. So in those places where you want to be AFK, this is really nice because you don't have to think about it. But God Wars, this would probably be amazing at God Wars. Just like prayer over time, you're just sitting there regaining prayer points before the boss spawns again.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like Chambers prayer enhance is very nice because you essentially don't need to use restores at all, right? Because you have the overload to tick your stats back up, and the prayer enhance really helps put those prayer potions back in the, or prayer points back in the mix, right? If we can have like a diet version of this that we can take to other pieces of content in the game, yes, it takes up an inventory spot that theoretically could be more prayer, but how much more convenient is it going to be to kill a boss like Zulrah or Vorkath or Muspa, where you're kind of ripping through prayer potions with overheads and offensives. You know, obviously you won't be able to take this to like Gauntlet or anything like that, but I don't know. I'm just trying to think like this could be really nice at like Hydra. You know, this could be really nice at Hydra to save some of those supplies and extend the trips even more. This could be maybe like solo instance bosses. This already exists in Chambers and kind of in TOA with the Scarabs. So maybe it could be a pot share at Tob.
Depending on how expensive it is, I think it's going to get used a lot more than we think. Like, I don't think it's that content.
No, absolutely not. And actually, it's kind of good that they're releasing it from this boss, right? Because this boss is hopefully not going to get botted to hell in the first month that it's out, right? So that means this boss is, especially if this potion is actually fucking sick, and the herb that comes from the seed also goes in the aggro pot, the potion of goading, this boss is going to be money.
Yeah.
Not like next money, but like consistent GP per kill, Vorkath Zulrah, old Zulrah kind of money. New Zulrahs.
Money Dragon who?
How the mighty have fallen. Money Muspa.
Hydra used to be the Money Dragon?
Hydra has always been money. Hydra lost a little bit of its value for a while because the claw dropped to like 30 mil. But even without the claw
come back though.
Hydra is still like a 16 mil task. Without, like, Hydra is a shit ton of money per task. The tasks take a month, but they do make you some money even without uniques. I don't know. I could be mistaken. Maybe this is a boss that the loot table actually gets nerfed. They said that you'll be able to receive the seeds from other places, I think. In Varlamore, or the herbs rather. They mentioned it somewhere. I'm trying to find where in the blog they talked about it.
It's in the feedback at the top.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where they mentioned.
Of course, you may be able to obtain the seeds or the herb itself from other sources in the future, but for now, the Hueycoatl will be the only place it's available. We haven't decided whether herb should also be used as the primary for the recently passed potion of goading, but we'll be sure to let you know when development has progressed further. Okay.
I'm really hoping this herb goes in Potion of Goading because it's Varlamore specific, and that's pretty cool. Number 2, the seed drop makes sense to replace like a Snapdragon or a Raynar at the Coliseum. This definitely belongs on the Coliseum loot table.
Yeah.
And
maybe as rarely from Perils.
They could be a rare thing from Perilous Moons, that'd be fair. This could also make this boss hella money per kill.
Yeah.
You know, it depends on what the rest of the loot table looks like because they use the two like most opposite answers. They're like, yeah, we're looking to bosses like Nex, which I think is the best money per hour in the game, and Scurious, which drops like raw tuna. So like, I understand they're talking about the model, but as far as loot table is concerned, if they even come close to approaching Vorkath, Zulrah, Muspa levels of loot table, this boss is going to be insane for money. With these seeds, it's going to be insane money. Yeah. If they go the nightmare route, that's going to piss a lot of people off. If they go the God Wars route of like, you don't make any money unless you see a unique, that's going to be kind of disappointing.
It would keep the uniques like more expensive though.
But does that make that fun?
It doesn't make it fun.
Like the reason Nightmare uniques are worth money is because no one does the content. Because Nightmare is not a rewarding boss to do. It's exhausting, right?
Yeah.
Especially regular Nightmare. It's an exhausting fight. And the unique rate is crusty. So obviously the unique rates are going to be what they are, right? We can't be too concerned about that. It would be pretty cool if they kept it in line with God Wars Dungeon for drop rate wise. Like a 1 in 512 for any unique or whatever.
Well, especially since multiple people are going to be receiving drops. Like it's not just highest DPS wins. I'm sure if you get MVP, you'll get rewards for that.
You'll probably get, do you think this thing's going to drop Dragon Bones on a kill?
Oh, Hueycoatl Bones?
No, they would have mentioned if it was a new type of bone.
But do you think they would have mentioned it specifically?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. They would have said a new kind of bone is coming out that's in line with dragon, wyvern, worm bones. They would have said that 100%.
I think it's going to have a Hueycoatl bone. Now, drop table wise, dragon bones could be on the drop table. Like 100 dragon noted or 50 or whatever. That's a lot.
That's 10. Understandable to have as a drop. I mean, if it drops 100 at a time spread between the people on the team, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, talking about team, they kind of like snuck this in thinking we wouldn't notice, but like there's going to be NPCs that will help you fight this boss.
Yeah, dude,
along
I
the
forgot
way.
about those until I
Holy
reread the blog this
smokes.
morning. I think that's going to be kind of neat. Kind of neat to see, especially if
Like
you
it
have like
said
a healer priest in there too.
Right.
Like,
It said the priest or like a cleric would be one of the people. So you're just going to get healing and prayer regen after each phase up the mountain.
I'm interested if they provide. I'm interested if they provide buffs at all. Like
That would be so
here,
cool.
here could be a super cool mechanic, right? I don't know if they're planning on doing this or not because they said some mechanics are secret. But hear me out, Jagex. Hear me out, because I know you guys play this, in the office when the new episode releases. Because you guys we're your favorite podcast, obviously. Hear me out. Make it so that the more NPCs you're able to keep alive, the more buffs you get in between phases. So make it so that like if Hueycoatl kills members of your party, right, you lose buffs. If it kills your warrior, you lose damage per second. If it kills your cleric, you don't get healing. If it kills your priest, you don't get prayer points back, right? If it kills your bard, you don't get any sort of like damage boost. You don't get a strength boost or attack, strength, range, whatever it is, right? Make it so that in fighting this boss, you also kind of have to prioritize attacking parts of it that are attacking your NPCs, which I think is going to be kind of difficult because you're going to be attacking parts of the boss while avoiding hazards. I can already tell you there's going to be a rock fall. There's going to be a rock fall. There's going to be an earthquake mechanic. There's going to be spikes coming out of the wall. There's probably going to be little Hueycoatl minions that come to attack you.
Ooh.
We've seen what potential environmental hazards are going to be there a million times. Interested to see how these NPCs work to avoid them.
Yeah.
Because like
This feels very D&D. I'm here for it.
it kind of does, and I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
An interesting mechanic with the NPCs. Like I like your idea, but it'd be really cool if you're at like the base of the mountain and there's a group of them there, and then you choose
them
which buff. So if you take the warrior, you have higher DPS, but like the boss is going to hit you harder. If you want to be more focused on healing, you take the cleric. There's just like different buffs that you choose based on the NPC, but then adding in, you have to keep them alive, like you said, for that to be a viable thing throughout the fight.
That could be
Because
cool.
you could lose them along the way.
That could be cool.
Because they're not just like a free buff. You have to, there's risk and reward.
Yeah, I definitely think that could have potential. I don't know how smart they can make the NPCs to like heal themselves up, like eat food and walk away from like, environmental like floor damage. Like,
yeah.
Could you imagine how useless some NPCs would be in like the nightmare fight? Dead immediately. With the floor hazards and the shadow attacks and the mushrooms and shit. Like dead immediately.
All Jagex has to do is employ one of the really good bot script people, and they're golden. Like bots can do anything in this game.
I mean, they've made a lot of NPCs that can do a lot more stuff to it, right?
The fact that they're like NPCs in the Coliseum can like path around the pillar is just like I didn't think that would ever happen. I thought we would have like dumb NPC pathing forever, but they said nope. They're gonna run. They're gonna run at you.
Yeah,
Scariest thing
when
I've
they
ever
release that shit
experienced.
with Nex, when they're like, oh yeah, Nex runs, it's like holy shit. I think Nex was the first NPC who doesn't move on a track to be able to run, because prior to, there were NPCs who could run in cutscenes, but prior to the release of Nex, the only NPC that could run was Pestilent Bloat, because it was on a track and it would just run clockwise or counterclockwise. But Nex is the only NPC, or was at the time the only NPC that could like run freely wherever the fuck she wanted around the arena. And now we've got the Fremennik warriors that do it, and I'm there could be potential for that in the future. Maybe these new dwarves do something similar.
It's kind of weird if they just like walked behind you as you were running up the mountain. So I could see mechanics to where they actually can run too.
Yeah, I'm curious how these things work out. Maybe they serve like specific purposes. Like, obviously, this isn't going to be a skilling boss, but like, you bring a couple of dwarves with you, right? And they mine out paths while you're killing the boss. And if the dwarves die, you have to do that mining.
You have to mine it yourself.
You have to do
if you're too slow.
Yeah, it's not a skilling boss, so I don't think that fits very well with this design. But
it's so morbid. It's so morbid. Like we're excited. Like, oh, you got to do it before they die.
But like, it adds. I think having to keep NPCs alive can be very tedious. Sometimes, I know we've all played games where it's like, escort somebody without getting them killed. Like, even in RuneScape, we have the temple trekking, right?
Yeah.
Temple trekking is annoying as shit because all the NPC does is goes, hey, I'm going to wear no armor, have negative stats, and go kiss this shadow beast. That's not going to be a problem, right? Like, it's... And you like can't take aggro off them. Like it's really bad. My best food is like salmon, you know? So like those things can be a frustrating mechanic. But I think if done correctly, having to keep NPCs alive would be a good way to kind of mix up the combat a bit by making it like you're not changing the combat, you're changing how you approach the boss fight.
Yeah.
You know, because
you have to think about stuff outside of just attack boss, click yellow.
Yeah. Could this develop a way to like, there's 4-man Hueycoatls where we have, you know, the skiller, the DPSer, the healer, something like that, where like the healer is on lunars with pot share and heal group or cure group.
Yeah.
Right? Like that.
Or their inventory is specifically dedicated to like bandages that you pick up and they have to run around healing everyone.
I mean, I don't know if I want like a full barbarian assault kind of thing, but I think definitely like, hey, you're the healer of the group, so you're still gonna have your dragon hunter lance or your dragon hunter crossbow. You're gonna have the like main bossing attire, kind of like at Theater of Blood, where like you have a specific role at top, right? But you still do everything, right? You have a role in Nilo Room. You have a role at Maiden. You have a position at Zarpus and Verzik, right? You have a job, but your main job is to kill the boss, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that same thing kind of applies to God Wars, where you have like the tank and the DPS, right? I think if they're able to implement something like that, where that becomes a cool mechanic of like, hey, I'm on Lunars, I got Cure Me, you're on Standard because you've got, you know, Earth Surge or whatever to deal with the little minions, and, you know, so-and-so is on Blood Barrage because they're like the main DPS or whatever, you know, or maybe like everyone else is just on Thralls, right? So I think we could have a lot of potential for really fun ways to mix up this combat encounter if the dwarven NPCs have that little bit of extra creativity sprinkled in with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think one way that they can mitigate like the morbid reality of like, oh, they're trying to mine this, and if they don't do it and they're gonna die, like they could just knock out. Like they could just be knocked out. They're ineffective. They're laying there like, oh, I'm mortally wounded. And then they just can't interact with the rocks anymore. So you have to. They don't have to die.
I don't think mining is like the skill or any skill really should fit into this. But like, let's say, for example, you manage to keep all of the dwarves alive throughout the fight. At the end, they'll come together and fully restore everything of yours. So you're prepped and ready for the next fight. Could that lead to a problem of like, I'm on a 4-hour Hueycoatl trip and it becomes tedious like God Wars? Or is it better to have it like that, you know?
I don't know.
Maybe it's something that kind of resets. I think there's a lot of like fun things they could do with these NPCs because we've never really gotten to fight alongside NPCs that don't suck. Like Monkey Madness 1, we kind of did, but they didn't do a goddamn thing to that demon.
Listen, you didn't have them DPS down the demon until the very last minute, and it shows. Like you didn't hide behind the pillar and let them kill the demon and then swoop in at the last 5 seconds.
I did in Monkey Madness 2. You want to know why? Because I got killed, dude. Monkey Madness 2, I got killed by the demonic gorillas a week after the Gravestone update. And had I done Monkey Madness 2 a week prior, I would have been completely wiped. I would have lost my trident. I would have lost my blowpipe. I would have lost my whip. I would have lost literally everything to the old instance changes and probably would have quit RuneScape.
Damn.
Because I would have completely wiped my character. But it was literally, I had to like take a break after I died to the demonic gorillas because I was like, oh my God, there's a gravestone. Oh my God, there's a gravestone. Like so I absolutely did hide behind the pillar and let Neve do most of the damage to the demonic gorillas when I first did Monkey Madness 2. 100%.
I was thinking about it earlier when you're talking about keeping all the dwarves alive. So this is not going to happen, but this is just funny. Say there's 5 dwarves, and if you manage to keep them all from being knocked out or dead at the end, they turn into like Power Rangers style Hulkbuster. They jump on each other's shoulder, and then you just have this giant dwarf mech that helps at the end of the fight if you can keep all 5 alive.
A Giga Dwarf. It's just a regular size guy.
Yeah.
It's just a regular size NPC. Perfect.
That would be fun. Oh, well, that's the group boss, guys. That's pretty much everything.
I think that's kind of everything. I think,
and that's all we have now. Right? Like, they're still going to be releasing stuff because part 2 for Varlamore yet to be announced on a release date. So they could add more to this. They could walk some stuff back. There's a poll that's live that I don't know.
It's not.
I don't know if it's
surely it's
live.
not live anymore, right? Surely.
Probably not.
By the time this episode comes out, surely it's not still live.
If for some reason you're a time traveler and you listened to this before it came out, go
AKA
vote.
The recording booth chat, go vote.
Hey guys, in the recording booth chat, go vote. Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm excited, man. I think like actually kind of talking it through with like this boss could make a shit ton of money. This boss is probably gonna have a really cool serpent pet. This boss is like gonna have access to a resource that people are gonna need when Varlamore Part 2 comes out, and they're only gonna be able to get it from this. So like, and it's got private instances like God Wars. But the question is it, I think it's like Next private instances. The instance system will work similarly to that of Next. So you will be able to open a private instance and have people on your friends chat or whoever join like they do at Next. And man, that's got potential for fun times.
Yeah.
That's got mad potential for fun events to do Hueycoatl masses. You know, I think
TNL boss of the week when this comes out. Stay tuned.
Could be, man. Could be. We got
great.
another money boss weekend, but it's just Next, Scurrius, and Hueycoatl. That'd be fun. But I'm far more optimistic about this than I am the one and done Herblore minigame.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to see what they release for the Bard College. Surely the Bard College comes out soon, right? Surely.
My name's Michael, and not Shirley, but we'll see. But hey, stick around after this break. Probably a recycled commercial, unless Oxie or I or one of somebody in the community gets like a really
gonna be
big,
me, I tell you that.
really big creative kick. Stick around after the commercial break, and we'll have some more content for you guys. See you soon.
Hey, I'm the guy that sits I'm the guy that sits real far away. Not a lot of people come around here, but my name is, don't worry about my name. We don't do names here. You come here, you give me what I want, I give you what you want, alright? And we don't ask questions. I have a lot of bones. You don't ask me where I got the bones from. I don't ask you what you need with the bones. And that's how this works, alright? We don't ask questions, alright? You come in, you give me money, I give you bones. Human bones, animal bones, dog bones, any sort of bone. But on the one proviso, you don't ask me where I got the bones, and I don't ask you what you need with the bones. Alright? You look me in the eye. Because if you don't accept that, we're gonna have a problem. You wanna know my name? You can call me Dan. I'm Dan the Bone Man. That's all you need to know. Alright? And then when we're done, you never met me. I never met you, alright? This never happened. I don't know who you are, alright? Good. Now get the f out of here.
Welcome back. If you enjoyed that commercial break, because I know that I sure did. It's the time of the show now. We're going to take a second to give some thanks. Not Thanksgiving, but anyway, we're going to thank our patrons who help support the show. Each week, we shout out our Wise Old Man patrons. If it's your first time subscribing with the Wise Old Man, or I guess in this case, returning to the Wise Old Man tier, we'll shout you out by name, and you'll get a shout out that's on the screen. But before we do the screen part, shout out to Mima, resubbed at the Wise Old Man tier. Welcome
He's back,
King.
baby. He's back. He's back to
and then-
antagonize the recording booth chat. What a man.
And antagonize he has. On the screen now is the current Wise Old Man patrons. Thank you guys so much for your support. You guys are amazing. And when I say you guys, it is gender neutral. Okay, Midwest here. I could say y'all, I guess. Y'all are amazing.
I was going to say, what do you mean Midwest, Michael? You live in Texas.
I was born and raised in Ohio.
How do I say y'all more than you do? And I've never left the state
I
of
don't know.
Michigan.
I still call it pop. Do you? Okay, cool. So then we're on the same page. Thank you to the Wise Old Man tier. You guys are amazing. Moving on to the KBD tier. KBD stands for King Black Dragon, and they are the king of all tiers. And you guys will get a shout out by name. So if you join the KBD tier, a cool little thing is you kind of get to like mess around and change your name up a bit sometimes. And if it's funny enough, we'll read it. I mean, we're always going to read it, but if it's bad, we're not going to read it. Anyway, starting with the top of the list here, thank you so much to Apathy, Boston Sport, Brooks70, Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad, hi dad, Cloud Kicker, Corpse Fiance, Damon S, Dicky Bird, Elite Oreo Dunker, Ice Swolio. That's
that's
probably
a
a reference that
throwback
I
right
don't
there.
get.
That's what do you mean? That's a throwback right there.
A throwback to what?
I swallow? That's a throwback right there to good old Brandon. That's a throwback right there.
I swallow. Okay, that's funny. I like it.
That's also a credit to Swole's dedication to the show. He's like his fourth listen through or something like that.
Yes.
So he's probably listening to back when we used to read all the Wise Old Man
Freaking
names, which
amazing.
like was fun until the Patreon read became like a 20-minute segment because we had so many Wise Old Men. Oh my god.
Oh, that's great. Missouri Inferno Cleric, MT Birchfield, Oxy's number one favorite demon 666. Our third favorite Patreon supporter Ralph, Run Metal 15, Soggy Waffles, Seppi J, Sparky Life, the Big G Jordy, and the Crayola Tallymorn. Some things never change, and the Big G Jordy and Crayola Tallymorn, like they're constants in our lives. Just always there, rounding out the KBD tier. So anyway, thank you so much to everyone in the KBD tier. Muchos muchos to all of you. If you would like to join these crazy folks in supporting the show with your money, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Xpwaste. We recently got an email from Patreon that said, "You guys are amazing. Keep it up." Basically, they're like, anybody who actually goes to the website ends up subscribing. So thank you. You guys are amazing.
Which is not true because I've been to that website a shit ton of times and I ain't never subscribed to the Patreon.
Oxy,
So I might be the only lone person who's visited the page and is not
it is
subscribed.
crazy that after all this time, you are not even a gnome child. Come on, bro. You can throw $1 our way, right? Just to have the little
So back when
icon
the
in Discord?
Patreon happened, I actually couldn't because I was poor as shit. And in the Discord, I have an icon that supersedes literally every other icon in the thing.
It's pink.
We've got the little PMod thing, which like we might
That's
change in the future, but like it doesn't matter what other roles I take on. My name is always going to be purple. So I don't know. For me at this point, it just seems a little redundant to give myself money to do something I was gonna do anyway. You know,
It's true. It's whatever. You can join for free too, but what that means, I don't know. I really don't. So
I think
maybe
that's part
one
of the
day we'll
mystery.
figure it out.
I think that's part of the mystery. Maybe someday we'll make a change. But for right now, just follow for free because we don't know what it does.
Saki Waffle said it's our drunken dwarf tier. So yeah, patreon.com/Xpwaste if you would like to join. Moving on now to the community questions section. This one's going to be a big one. So 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I can't remember, time is a construct, we ended our bingo, the Springo 2024. And the question that we asked you guys was, make us a bingo tile. Now, I've not vetted any of these. As always, I don't read the questions before we read them on the show. So don't know if these are going to be any good, but we'll see. We're going to read them now. Starting off, Otis says 3 tiles that go hand in hand. XM farming XP, enough tithe farm points as a team to clear the shop, and possibly a certain amount of bottomless compost buckets as a team. I like that. I like the tithe farm points, and I think that like in a future bingo, it could happen. Because something like getting... we've done a lot of stuff with mini games, and I think that's one that we haven't done at all or ever.
If bottomless compost bucket was not so time locked, it would be a good tile. Because the problem with bottomless compost is like you can kill Sarachnis 1,000 times in a day and not get the cudgel. You genuinely cannot do more than a certain number of Hespori per player in the time frame we have for bingo. And
like the seeds are not tradable, so like you would have to hope that you get a seed. I don't get seeds nearly
like
as often as you think.
Depending on team size, you may not even be able to kill enough Hespori to hit drop rate with the bottomless compost bucket. So that's a tile where, like,
30,
unfortunately, right. But even so, like, depending on team size, depending on, you know, how many Hespori seeds you already have, right? Like, if I don't have any Hespori seeds and I'm going to do a damn tree run and an herb run and all this other stuff, that's still like hours for it to grow, right?
Yeah.
So we might see a lot of like farming XP, but it might not correlate with getting the drop. So bottomless compost buckets really hard to put on the board because it's a tile that is, it's very possible to not finish, not because you're not skilled enough. And that feels real shitty, you know? I still don't have a bucket on the clog, by the way.
What? You've done 87? No bucket?
I thought the drop rate was
feels
1 in
bad,
100
dude.
until like midway through 2023. I literally thought the bucket was super rare until somebody was like, it's 1 in 30. I'm like, bullshit, it's 1 in 30. I have double the KC that it's not 1 in 30. Sure enough, it's 1 in 30.
It is 1 in 30.
Really unlucky.
Yeah. Unless bingo was like, we have to make bingo significantly longer. And I don't think we want to make bingo longer just for one tile. It's already too long. Chris S says 48 hours on one in-game timer. What? You have to stay logged in for 48 hours? Or you just 6-hour log? Like you wake up, set an alarm for your 6-hour log? I don't know. DJ says a zoom tile. Take a picture of an item and zoom in so close that it's hard to see what it is, like you do for the tile leaks. Then the teams have to decipher what item it is and get the drop. That would be kind of silly. That'd be fun for like a bonus tile. like a clue scroll type deal where we make a bunch of clues that lead to the final item that you have to take a screenshot of, submit it, and we tell you if you got it right or wrong.
You're hearing clues.
Like
Tiki's frothing right now. We said clues.
Tiki could help. He could help. That would be kind of fun.
Like a mystery thing. He's like, where?
Huh?
He wants
They said red token? Huh? D4 Drake says complete TOA using only free-to-play gear. Any prayers, spells, any prayers and any spells, but all gear must be free-to-play and have it be a minimum of a 150. How do you police that, though? That's the hard part.
Do an inventory screenshot before. I've done a free-to-play I've done a free to play 150 for Wilderness Podcast years ago. It was all right. It's slow. Let me tell you, it is slow.
Not a good
y'all
time.
don't understand how stinky Rune Scimitar, U Shortbow, and Fire Blast. You don't understand how slow that is until you crack off like an hour and a half long TOA in like Rune Armor and Green Dragonhide and shit. Like, it is slow.
Stinky. That's why you hate TOA, bro. Like, you've just been doing it wrong this whole time.
I don't still take free to play gear, Michael.
Oh, you didn't clarify that.
Just kidding. Jesus Christ.
Oh, next up, Sarah says an item for every slot except cape from the Tarn's lair. I think that's the best location for this. You can get everything except a cape, and nobody goes there, so it would require some investigation.
What the fuck?
Huh?
Tiki, write that one down.
Write that down.
I don't like it, but write that one down. Because that could be. Write that one down.
Next up, Redwrist says Heartless is the best bingo teammate ever. He loaned me a fang for God Wars. Jokingly said if I got the tile, I could keep it. Even though I only got Bandos boots, he let me keep it. It was the night he got the Torva body. That's a great tile. I freaking love that tile.
It's not a tile at all, but as one of my teammates for several bingos in both TNL and Raids Bank can confirm, Heartless teammate.
Is a good guy. He's a good guy. Nate Dogg says hunting for the booty. Get a frozen cache of runes, and 3 different tier clue caskets, and a casket as a drop from Dagonoths. It's worth 2 to 3 points.
What was
frozen cache?
So frozen cache. Yep.
Cache of runes. 3 different tier of clue caskets, and a casket as a drop from the Dagonoths. That might be fun. So it's like stacked caskets or something.
So
they're play on stacking.
So hold on. We would need to be able to validate how you get the clue caskets. Because
we could just leave the clue caskets out of it.
Tiki, write that one down.
Still
Tiki, write that one down.
Kevin says, Canister Shell. Oh, hi. Canister Shell says, submitting multiple 6-hour playtime logs, but really completing an armor set from God Wars or just 3 armor pieces with dupes should be accepted. That'd be kind of cool. Any armor set, meaning Kree or Bandos. So any 3 armor pieces can be mix and match.
It'd be an excuse to go back to Armadillo, which like I gave Kriara. I gave Kriara a lot of shit. If you listen to this podcast for a long time, I've given Kriara a lot of shit for a lot of years. Genuinely, and this is, I don't mean to be elitist or gatekeepy. Kriara is not a boss you're going to enjoy until you have really good gear. Kriara is not a boss you're going to enjoy until you can afford to take 1,000 black chins with a T-bow. It's not a boss you're going to enjoy until you do it with a shadow on task. It is, you try to RCB Kriara, you try to dragon crossbow Kriara with diamond bolts, you try to use like gray chin champas on like a shitter Iron Man. Kriara is horrendous. However, with max gear and a Slayer task, respectfully, Kriara is a pretty decent time. Especially the duo scale at Kriara is my favorite. You and one other buddy, one of you has got a T-bow, one of you's got a shadow, one of you's on task, one of you isn't. Duo Kriara is where it's at. Duo Kree is good content.
Rich, stay rich, SMH.
That's, I don't know, man.
Air quote says, and what's really funny is he put that as the first thing in his text. Air quote says, 1, obtain full infinity. 2, obtain the best weapon in the game, Torag's hammers. 3, build a gold sink. And then he put in parentheses, I don't play bingo, so I have little context.
Spend 100 mil.
Spend 100 mil. Is that all one tile? It's a 3-part tile? That's what I'm wondering.
That should be the name of the tile. I don't play bingo. I don't know how this works. Obtain as a team, obtain full infinity, build a fucking gold sink. And then what was the last one?
Get the Torax hammers.
Get Torax hammers. I don't play bingo. I don't know how this works. That's such a shit. Make it worth like 1 point too. That'd be such a shitty tile.
It'll be the single least completed tile in history of all bingos.
Not yet.
Listen, don't give this man ideas, please. Mockcat says, have 20 pyramid tops in your inventory at once. I love agility pyramid. Also, yes, I'm exclusively a UIM player, stuck in some boring grinds, so I'm not on as often, but I do pop in to progress. I think that was from last week. This shows that Mockcat listens to the community questions, so thank you, sir. Much appreciated. You stay after the break. Fizzman15 says, obtain a loot key worth over 10 mil. Says this shitty mobile iron player that has never PK'd in my entire life.
Tile is theoretically fine. Could also be very easily spoofed.
Yeah.
That is genuinely the only issue with that tile is that it can be spoofed pretty quickly. All you got to do is make an account that is not in the clan and does not have a recognizable username. Stick 10 mil cash on it, or stick like, I don't know, give it a Venator shard, skull it up, and kick its ass in the Revenant caves to make it look legit, and you easily have the 10 mil whatever. It is
like, that's worse than the clue scroll where we told people the step.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's worse than the clue scroll where we told people to get the step and they had it preloaded before bingo started. Like, that's minute 1. You have 10 mil in your inventory. You kill your friend who's not playing bingo. Bam. Now, if it was harder than that, I think it would be cool. But unfortunately, I don't think we'll have a open a loot key worth X.
We'll have to also maybe we can do research into bounty hunter for next bingo. I feel like we looked at bounty hunter for fall back in skill tree, but bounty hunter was weird, so we opted to not do it.
It could be the play, honestly. Like, having some sort of bounty hunter tile could be the play.
We have to do research and make sure, again, it's not just like spoofed and camped. But
Neatsy says, suit up for sailing. As a team, earn 2,500 pieces of 8 from Trouble Brewing. It's enough for the full naval suit. Listen, I think Trouble Brewing, if it was more understood, could be fun.
Games are 20 minutes long.
I know. And you have to, the whole game, you have to do the whole thing. Can't leave. Is there anything else in this game that is that long that requires you to be there for 20 minutes?
Right?
I don't think so. Yeah, but like, at least you could leave at any point. I don't know. It's a mini game.
You don't
God
get the
damn
KC
it.
because you leave early.
I know, but like, make it.
Deposit some buckets and AFK for 19 minutes.
Sounds
Yeah,
good
that's
to
exactly
me.
what you do.
Exactly. Tiki says that's because you don't understand it, Michael. And it's, yes, I think it could be a really viable thing that people do if, 1, the rewards were good, and 2, it wasn't as long, and 3, people understood how to play and wouldn't just go in there AFK for 20 minutes and then come out with a completion. So maybe we'll just like do what Doc did with Bear, and we'll have the Church of Trouble Brewing, and we'll just send Trouble Brewing masses until everybody understands it, and we're like, TNL is now the Trouble Brewing clan. I don't know. Oxie's throwing up his mouth, so I'll move on. Dinosaur
we've
says,
gone through a lot of changes in the last week. Let's not implement a new religion that will destroy the clan with Trouble Brewing, please. Can we not do that? No.
Yes.
Stick with the Church of Bear and call it good.
Dinosaur says, pet transmog tile would inspire people to go for things like the metamorphic dust or the parasitic egg, stuff they wouldn't necessarily go for out of their way under normal circumstances.
Dinosaur.
For the audio-only listeners, he's nodding his head.
There might be something like that being cooked up right now. Maybe something easy. Maybe something not so easy. We'll see.
Maybe. Dudeheim says, acquire the RuneScape girlfriend.
Man.
Easier said than done.
Man. There's two types of bingo players. there is the players who have an established partner and can tell that established partner, I love you more than anything every other week of the year, except for this one. Here are some flowers. I'll talk to you next Sunday. There are also players who are just very single. And you're probably thinking to yourself, like, what if you're like starting to date someone? I promise you, one of them will have to be given up. One of them, if you are like a month and a half into a new relationship and bingo starts, one of them is going to have to fall by the wayside for the completion of the event. So, you know, yeah, the tack is not to get a RuneScape girlfriend during bingo. The tack is to get the RuneScape girlfriend right after bingo ends.
After bingo.
And then play it during. Chaos Cleric says, I just had a baby and didn't see that baby for the whole week of bingo. Oh,
that's crazy.
My man said, I'm going to play bingo. I'm going to AFK with one hand and hold the kid in the other. Like, it's Scape used to tell us all the time before Michael had his son. He's like, you know, you think as a baby, it's really hard to like play RuneScape when you have a baby, but it's not, because babies don't really do anything. It's once they turn like 2 or 3 years old that it becomes hard to play RuneScape because they're like running around and talking. But when they're a baby, if they're not crying, you can just like sit there and train with them in your hand.
Absolutely.
I was raiding while they napped. I mean, that's fantastic.
Oh, I love that. I love that. We have to move on, Oxie. We have so many more.
We do.
Brandon says, complete 200 laps of the Wilderness Agility course on a high-risk world. Again, how we enforce it, I'm not sure.
Don't
but
know how to track it.
200 laps could be cool. Send a before and after screenshot. Mr. Curtin says, a free tile, only worth a couple of points, but to get your team together for an icebreaker, maybe take an in-game picture with at least half of your team present.
That tile has been TMD is a big fan of those tiles. TMD really likes the like call your mom kind of tile. And those kind of like, we used to have the Fashionscape raid tile, which was essentially that kind of like, let's all bond, look ridiculous, and then basically get a free tile because like obviously we're gonna complete a regular chambers and like dog shit gear. Like yeah, I look like shit, but I still have a Tebow, so like who cares, you know?
Right.
But
right. Could be fun.
Yeah.
If we're looking for tiles to add, you know, that could do it. Damination says, insert specific CA here. Maybe a quest running speed tile. Oh, a rare drop table tile? Maybe like half, shield half or something. I don't know.
Had it. We've had all three of those kinds of tiles in the past.
Yeah.
The rare drop redemption, I remember we had that was like a Springo 22 tile. It was a good Springo 22 is a good board. Yeah, we had a good time with that one. Yeah. That was back when it was like still a very like a 80-person event.
Good times. He says, love you both. Let me be a captain in Fallingo.
Sign up.
Just sign up. Wesley B says, get a piece of Third Age. No, thank you.
Have also had that as a tile.
Yeah, mega rare.
We did have a Clue Scroll mega rare tile at one point. It was expanded to be like gilded. God, that tile sucked. The guy on my team who got it got like anti-fires. I need to look back and see who that was because I don't remember if that was. May have been Toilet, honestly. I'm trying to remember how far back that tile was of who on my team got anti-fires.
Who knows? But we've done it, and I don't think we should do it again because that's stacking.
That's what?
Stacking, baby.
Which is it's just not going to be allowed next bingo, surely, right?
I don't know. Who knows?
Surely it's just not going to be allowed. We'll get in the lab and we'll figure something out. Don't worry.
We'll figure something out.
Don't worry.
Mima says, an actual nightmare tile. Mima, I don't know if you know this, but no.
Okay, hold on now. They're changing the drop rates. Nightmare might not be as bad. We put Nex on the board. For the first time ever, we're just sort of like, yeah, we'll just do Nex. So maybe if we're at the point where we're like, we don't want them to finish it, maybe we stick a Nightmare Unique on there. Who knows?
Maybe. Jake
All
D
the
says,
tiles that have been pitched are Nightmare tiles.
Mima David says you put a Superior Slayer on the board. Yeah, Superior
It
Slayer
was-
unique is
Superior Slayer was not appropriate for this board.
at least
I don't
any
think.
account type at any level can just unlock bigger and badder and maybe have a chance.
That tile worked really well for Skill Tree Bingo. I don't think it worked really well for Springo, unfortunately.
You win some, you lose some. Jake says D-Iron and be a main.
Boo. Suggest a new tile, Jake, please. Boo.
We're just assuming that that's the max.
I already
net
know
Jake.
who it is. Jake. Boo. Suggest a new tile. Come on.
We have 2 more. We can get through this, at least on Spotify. Tor says, I'm one of those frontline fanatics from Central US. 10 mil overall XP, any and all skills, and accumulated across all team members. 10 million XP?
In a day.
Oh,
On day
gosh.
1. Oh, yeah.
Non-combat,
Day
surely.
1. Day 1. Get that shit done. Day 1.
Non-combat, surely.
Put in. I had over half my team did an 18-hour shift on day 1. We get that shit done on day 1.
Should add up decently fast. Maybe more or less XP based on the team size. Yeah, but like at that point, it's just a completion thing. Like you're not actually going for it. So what's the point of having it as a tile? It'd be like get bones as a drop. It's an automatic drop. You know what I mean? Like at least with agility and like the specific XP that we have, you have to go for it. Anyway, Swole says get 1,875 points in all 4 roles in BA collectively as a team. That's 5 torsos or 4 high-level gambles for the best pet in the game. Frickum, account progression. Also, Frick God Wars and Bandos. Tell us how you really feel, Swole.
Now that's a nightmare tile right there.
That's a nightmare tile. I don't know. BA is not that bad.
That's a lot of BA though. That's a lot of BA.
It took us 3 attempts as a team to get the speed run.
One and done, baby.
We were
One
like
and done, baby.
4 seconds off on our second to last attempt, and it felt bad. It just felt bad. All right. We have a couple of responses on YouTube where we asked you the same question to make us a bingo tile. Spencer says, "Yo, dog, I heard you like tiles. Obtain a tile from the zombies in Tarn's lair." Could work. CS Eager says, "Make your own blood bark armor." I don't even know what goes into blood bark. So like
You have to get the special thing
from Shades of Morton, right?
From Shades of Morton. I'm not sure if you can get duplicates of that. I think that's the problem. I'm not sure if you can get duplicates. Unless you're talking about actually crafting the armor itself. But in theory, you could get a split bark top or bottom from Fnatic, and then the blood bark book from Shades of Morton. If you can't get dupes, that tile's dead in the water because we can't guarantee that a team hasn't already done it all. Yeah.
Let's see. Ben says, "I'm going to preface this by saying that I think the board should be much, much harder to the point where a winning team is only finishing 60% of the board, and there are actually interesting choices for what to go for rather than going for everything." I'll pause for Oxie to say something.
Careful what you wish for, Ben. Continue.
And then the tile that he wants to propose is that what you're wearing? It's the name of the tile. And it is obtain 1 hat, 1 top, and 1 bottom from each of the 3 raids. So it can be any hat, any top, any bottom, but it has to be a different one from each raid. So you can have an ancestral hat, Missouri top, and Justy bottom, or an ancestral hat, Missouri top, and Justy bottom. It's just how it plays out. I think that's a halfway decent raid style.
Tiki, write that one down.
Write that down.
Make it mix and match too. Make it mix and match.
Yeah.
You
right.
Have to
so
get
you have to
ancestral.
get a separate one. So if you get ancestral hat, you can't get ancestral top or ancestral bottom. You have to go to another raid and get another armor piece. Kind of like what we did with we had a tile like that, but I think it was weapons or like specific non-mega rares from each raid.
No, it was only it was 1 weapon, 1 armor piece, and then 2 from the other raids because top scale-y for some teams.
What's so scary?
But you want the board to be harder. You boys better get some theater practice in. That's all I'm saying.
Some TOB. Next up, Voltoro says, I think a cool idea for a bonus tile, I think like tiebreakers, would be green logs. So if your team fully green logs a boss, they get X bonus points. For example, green logging Giant Mole might give you 3 bonus points, but green logging Vorkath might give you 15. Totally made up those numbers, but you get the point. And since there are bonus tiles that are outside of the board, any drops used for the actual bingo can go towards the bingo tiles. Huh. It would be really cool to have like a team collection log. I don't know if like the coders out there and like the smarter people could make a specific plugin that maybe goes into the spreadsheet. They're like, it's a team specific collection log. And then we could viably have bonus points for getting all of the drops from that boss, even if it doesn't count towards the drop that on the tile, at least.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Voltoro. I don't think that's the best idea for a bonus tile. That sounds like a fucking awesome idea for an event.
Yeah. It really would be cool.
That itself could be a fun event where you sit with your team and strategize what clogs can we get done in like a 5-day period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we give different collection log values different points. Like
we could do
like
an
creature
entire
creation.
bingo.
Creature creation is 1 point. Theater of Blood is 50.
We could do an entire bingo just based off of the collection log, at least the boss log, where we say any boss in any drop is worth points, but we just determine which boss, which points, how many bonus points you get for green logging it, and then all it is just like all we have to develop is that specific little graphic that shows you how many of each.
You know what that could be? That could be a winter weekend idea. That could be the winter weekend clog rush. That could be potential.
Like, just the weekend though, people are gonna do like the most hyper specific things.
So
I think it has to be longer than a weekend.
I personally cannot commit the time because, like I said, the lab has been open, and come maybe like mid-June. Hey, yo. Come maybe mid-June, I've got to really put the pedal to the metal on some like promotional stuff. But we could do like a summer heat collection log event.
That'd be cool.
I can't.
I can't commit the time. To have more events.
Yeah, but I think that could be like that right there of like, let's strategize what bosses, and if like raids being worth a shit ton of points, but like everything with the capes count, you know, like it sounds like a TOA spam weekend, but also requires you to do some really hard stuff to get the phalanx and get all the boss remnants and things like that. Requires you to do challenge mode and hard mode.
Dupes don't count at that point. You know,
well, yeah, because you only want every
bears.
item. You only want every item once. Like you definitely would want like trying to look over some of the clogs right now for various bosses, like Chaos Fanatic and Chaos Elemental. Those would be good ones to spam. Crazy Archaeologist be a good one. I think, funny enough, the Inferno would make for a really good one too. The Inferno could be a lower point one, but spamming the Inferno for pet or whatever, fight caves, whatever it is, like there's some really cool potential for something like that.
You know what I want to see? I want to see mega team event. I want to see, we have 400 people, 200 people per team. I want to see 2 teams battle it out, 200 people per team, chaos ensues. That's my dream for an event.
Well, many years ago, I did suggest a TNL Civil War back when there was like 60 of us here. And we would have divided it up like, you know, make it like me and Scape versus you and TMD or something like that. And then just sort of like sort everyone into dividing factions from there. Like put Jamie and Shadow on different teams, put Jesse and Immortal on different teams, literally split the clan at the time straight down the middle to be like a true Civil War style thing. I thought that could have been quite a bit of fun. But
definitely
that did not come to fruition back in the day.
It could though. What you saying?
It'd be so much. It'd be so much. Now we'd have to have like a 700 tile board. It would be so much.
Listen,
It'd be so much.
This like collection log event is the perfect medium for having mega teams because every boss is available, every collection log slot is available, raids are available. Like we could even open it up to clues if we wanted to, and say like you have to get
green log
the clues.
Clue log.
I don't know. Like it's like pick your poison. You get points for everything. It's just like you play the game and you get points for doing it. I remember somebody suggested like a year-long bingo. And by the end of the year, you just like amassed a total points from just progressing your account. That's kind of what it feels like, but it's hyper condensed into like 10 days in the summer. I don't know. I might cook that. I might cook something up with that because that sounds like a lot of fun. We have one more reply, and it's from Swisha. She says, boss rush, tile, or something. N amount of players, each, XYZ bosses in under T amount of time. Any route allowed, solo kills only. That's a lot of math, Swisha, and I don't know.
One more time. Say that for me. So N amount of players, N being the number of players.
N being the amount of players, kills XYZ bosses in a certain amount of time. Any route allowed, solo kills only.
Okay,
Boss
so
rush.
like a team v team, which team can kill the most Zulrah in an hour? Which team can kill the most Vorkath in 2 hours? Which team can complete the most Tobs in 24 hours? Kind of thing. It's kind of what I'm getting from her suggestion.
So there's a lot more here. So in the theme of Springo 24, the number of players, amount of bosses, and the boss difficulty would range, and it would scale with each 1 through 6 tier. For example, the tier 2 tile calls for 5 players each kill Crazy Archaeologist, Scurious, and Mole, while a tier 5 tile calls for 2 players each kill Leviathan, Bazani's Nightmare, Muspah, Vard, Corrupted, and Zulrah. Or fill in whatever bosses would fit better. I don't know too well, to be honest. I can't kill these bosses yet, LMAO. Each variable can be modified and tweaked to affect the overall difficulty of each tile. Like, say, making more people kill less bosses, and you set the amount of time that accounts for travel time, and that is long enough to enable a range of different account types, equipments, and stats to have a shot at participating. The number of players also can directly affect how much manpower is required for each tile. I'd say bosses can appear in multiple tiles, tiers of tiles, just because trying to balance 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 equals 27. Just trying to balance unique non-raid bosses for steady increases difficulty, and it would just suck otherwise. Shrimp on, folks.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of information.
But also, I think it would be funny to be like, hey, you have 24 hours for 8 members of your team to get an Infernal Cape. Go. That would be...
Okay. Well, I said that was the last one, but then Swole had to come in and like do another one that wasn't under the reply. So finally, last one on YouTube, a tile, and this is from Swole, a tile where everyone who isn't living in Australia has to send a photo of them playing Osrs upside down while fighting an emu wearing a safari hat yelling, "Oi, get off me grass, you little bastard." And it's worth 69 points.
I have everything except the emu. I have a cat, though. Can that count?
You gonna fight B?
No, I'm gonna fight Blue.
Oh, Blue. Okay. B would just go, meow.
I was gonna say B would literally just like topple over and not do anything. Blue is a killer. Blue is still a little baby, and she's a murderer. One and done, baby. Day 1 completion.
Upside down, though. That's the hard part. And you have to be playing RuneScape. Anyway, folks,
Bro,
that's going to do it.
I killed Zulrah while getting a tattoo. I can
Oxie,
play
that's
RuneScape upside down.
Oxie,
Is that going to do it?
That's going to do it for community question, folks. Thank you so much to everyone who answered last week's question. If you want to answer this week's question, it will be, what is your opinion on the classification of dragon versus serpent? Should it have been a dragon or should it have been a serpent? Or option C, other. Let us know. You can answer that question in the community question section on Spotify or the pinned comment of this YouTube video. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to finish my medium clue. I'm going to get Ranger boots, and Oxie's going to do Achievement of the Week.
God, it is going to be such a fun dichotomy between the literal 37-minute community question that we just did to it's post-bingo burnout. People aren't doing shit in the game right now. So it's Achievement of the Week time, folks. It's a pretty light one, especially compared to last week's. You guys are taking a much-needed break. I envy you. I cannot wait for the day agility is over. It already will be over when you're hearing this. But still, I'm envious of the day where I can just play a different fucking game and not have to worry about, I'm not going to max in time because I have an active skill to train. Speaking of getting a 99 in skills, kicking off with the skilling category, we have Sky Daddy, first ever 99 with 99 firemaking. T achieved 99 magic. Big Mikey P achieved 99 range and 2k total level. Rosgin, who is dangerously close to 2277, achieved 99 agility. Papa Smurf 080 achieved 99 farming. ZixQD, who we actually just met in the live stream a couple days ago, achieved 99 magic. Lotsy GIM achieved 99 firemaking. Thick Hawk achieved 99 range. Ketonium also achieved 99 range. Submedian achieved 99 farming. Drop Zone achieved 99 Prage and 99 Mage. Mage and Prage. Love to see it. Flagrant Beef achieved 99 cooking. Icky achieved 2k total level. And Kaiga Sales achieved 2100 total level.
Ooh.
That's it. No more skilling achievements. On to combat achievements. Thankfully, all hope is not lost for this week. We do have 2 brand new fire capes. Both Weebs and making his, I believe, second appearance of Achievement of the Week. Or maybe I'm just dumb. No, it's the second appearance in the same section. Dodian. Weebs and Dodian both got their first fire cape this week. We love to see it. Additionally, both Dodian and one of the most handsome co-hosts to the Xpwaste podcast, Michael, killed Zulrah for the first time. Fishy Bun and Chips FE additionally also killed the Corrupted Gauntlet for the first time. As far as the combat achievements go in the combat achievements section of Achievement of the Week, Ogiyeyi, still don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Ogiyeyi, I've fumbled your name before. Maybe I need like a phonetic breakdown. Ogiyeyi completed the medium combat achievements, and my longtime bingo teammate, my boy Toilet GG, completed the elite combat achievements. Another member of the Jad Helm gang. Kits wrap up this combat section of Achievement of the Week. We have a couple of kits. Both Sabretooth on his GIM with a Warped Scepter and Chaos Cleric on his main, also with a Warped Scepter, got their Missouri kits. So now they got the fancy backpacks and the fancy max capes. Additionally, Nuggy, like today, right before we hit go live, got his Metaphyte Ornament kit. So now Nuggy has the fancy ward as well, which is pretty cool. There's technically one last achievement. Oh my god, Chaos Cleric posted in the recording booth chat because he didn't put it in levels and achievements. Tiki Mug got 99 mining. He's free of mining. He got 99 mining. He literally DM'd me and was like, is it bad that I'm gonna miss shooting stars? I said, go to therapy. Get some help. But he literally DM'd me. He's like, do you want to go to VM? And I right click, looked him up. I'm like, if this man is not within 100k, I'm not going. And he had 80k left, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go. I'll go to VM to get 99 for Tiki. And he DM'd me back so quick. He's like, I wasn't being serious, but I'm glad you were willing to go.
Aw.
So I got to stay at Sepulcher. But Tiki got 99 mining. Another one is free from the mines. As I said, we technically have one more achievement because I'm not actually sure what it is. Coiny in Discord sent a photo of himself standing with a trimmed achievement diary cape in front of a gilded portal nexus and just said, finally! Exclamation point. I don't know if that means you finally built your portal nexus or you finally got your diary cape. I don't know. But if you know, you should head over to our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL, and tell us about it in the levels and achievements section of the Discord. Again, any achievements are all welcome. I saw Jordy post that he got 38 herblore on his iron, and I literally was like, Jordy, there's no way you've been listening to this show for like 3 years and you don't have 38 herblore. And I was so concerned for a minute, and he's like, on my iron. I'm like, oh, thank God. I was like, Jordy, I will buy you 78 herblore today if you don't have it by now. But no, it's on the iron. So like achievements like that, we love to see them. Literally any level of achievement truly is something we enjoy watching you guys accomplish. We have a bumpin' VCs as always. I'm going to do the weekly tradition where I scroll down and see multiple VCs with multiple people in them doing all sorts of content. We got Theater of Blood. We've got people doing Slayer. We've got people playing like Apex Legends and shit in some chats sometimes over this past weekend. So definitely come check us out. Objectively the best RuneScape Discord in the world. Absolutely worth the join. That said, it's almost time for us to wrap up this episode, which means it's time for me to throw it over to Michael, the Zulrah extraordinaire himself, and ask, Michael, friend, do you have a fun question for us this week?
I'm going to throw it back to the Oxie extraordinaire and say no. But what we do have is a document full of questions.
So yes, you do.
Well,
so I'll counter the counter repost and send it right back to you and say you do have them.
Gotta find them.
Good God.
Let's see. It would have been a sheet, not a document, right? No, it's a document. 3 anniversary. I got it. Got it. Yes, I do have it. I found it. Finally, I found it. This one is not RuneScape related, but I think it could. We could get some good conversation. Moist Sean wants to know, if you only have 6 hours to live, what will your perfect last meal be? And who would you want to be there with you?
That is so deeply personal for a fun question. Oh my God. I was expecting like if you could sleep with any of the Majorat, but no, it's like, hey, time to get personal. Boy, off the rip, I think I'd probably want my sister to be there. I think, maybe my mom and my dad. Maybe my cats.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
my cats could be there. That'd be pretty cool. What we would eat? My heart says king crab legs, but like a comical amount of them. Like
you're getting food coma from crab leg.
Yeah, I'm gonna die from the crab legs. The reason I have 6 hours to live is because for 6 hours straight, I'm gonna eat crab legs until I die. That's probably why that's the case there. Yeah, dude, it'd be a lot of seafood. God, it'd be so much. It would be like, it would be like good old fish soup. It'd be mussels. It'd be big old king crab legs.
I'm not a fish guy, but
oh my God, I love
if it was my
fish.
last meal, I could probably get into it.
I absolutely love fish. I mean, there's probably other stuff I'm sure would also be like spectacular, but man, dude, I want some fish. Maybe that's what I go do tonight after I do not live by an ocean. I don't know how many times I have to
by
tell
a body
you,
of water.
Michigan is not by an ocean. Just because I am by water does not make it an ocean.
It's close enough. Close enough.
Not okay. Well,
okay, my turn. I want to 6 hours. Damn, it's only 6 hours. Okay, so we can't do an entire day. I was gonna go breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but my last dinner meal, I want an In-N-Out cheeseburger, a double, animal style, no salt, animal style fries, no salt. That's my starter, my appetizer, if you will. And then I want a bowl of tonkatsu miso ramen with pork chashu, corn, bamboo sprouts, bamboo shoots, whatever you call them, chives, and spicy chili oil. Then I want an entire gallon of cookie dough ice cream for dessert. And either make it into a milkshake or just eat it straight with a spoon. And then sprinkled in there, I want to eat some M&Ms and I want to eat some Kit Kats.
Lactose intolerance be damned at that point. That's a great idea.
Bro,
Like,
I want
who
to
cares?
chuck a giant glass
Oh my
of whole
God.
ass milk.
There it is, dude. I'm having crab legs with just fucking gallons of chocolate milk.
Yes!
You know how long it's been since I had
Chocolate
a good glass of chocolate milk? Holy shit.
Forgot about
Oh my
chocolate
God.
milk.
Yeah, there it is right there. If I know
so
I'm going to
good.
die, I'm having chocolate milk, dude. Who cares about the repercussions? It's not going to be my problem here in a couple of hours.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
The
man.
thick stuff that comes in the gallon, like the plastic gallon from the grocery store. Or mix up some Nesquik and eat it with the spoon.
You I'm
did
going
that
the
as a
gallon
kid?
for sure.
Did we all eat Nesquik with a spoon as a kid?
Of course. Like, I feel like everybody did, but like the Nesquik or like the Hershey syrup, it just doesn't hit the same as the chocolate milk out of the gallon.
Nah.
I might just drink the gallon myself right out
The whole
fucking lid.
thing.
I don't know, dude.
You deserve
Who
it.
cares?
Do 3
Who
of them.
cares?
3 gallons of chocolate milk.
Doing lines of Nesquik? Jesus Christ.
That's besides the point. Like I can eat Nesquik anytime, but the milk I can't. I shouldn't. I should say I shouldn't. What else is a good dairy product that I'm avoiding? I mean, ice cream I kind of eat now, but I regret it sometimes. But yeah, chocolate milk, like straight up whole ass chocolate milk.
I think most dairy products I can handle no problem. I can handle cheese, I can handle butter, I can handle ice cream in certain amounts. Like if I get like a giant thing of ice cream, I'm probably gonna have a bad time. I do okay with milkshakes. I do okay with like milk-based coffees, like lattes and things like that. But when it's 1v1, me versus a glass of 2%, I lose every time. And God, now even the thought of chocolate milk, I might risk it all the night to go get some chocolate milk. Now that we're talking about I might risk it all.
Pills?
What
Have you ever tried the lactose pills?
Some sort of bitch? No, I've never tried a lactose pill.
Okay, so go to Meijer, get a half gallon of chocolate milk so you don't waste it, and then go to the pharmacy aisle and just get like a lactose pill and see what happens. See if you that combination saves you. Because like for some reason, for me, it's not the lactose in the milk that's the problem. I don't know what it is, but it's not the lactose because I've tried 2 things. I've tried the lactose pills and they don't work. And I've tried lactose-free milk and it still doesn't do it. Like it doesn't work. I still get the bubble guts. So you may be different and you could probably take 2 or 3 of the lactose pills and be fine and have yourself a good night. But yeah, thank you to Moist Sean. I think I want to add, instead of like an entire gallon of cookie dough, I want 1 of each. I want a chocolate milkshake, I want a strawberry milkshake, and I want a vanilla milkshake. And I want a half gallon of cookie dough ice cream. I still want the ice cream, just want some variety. Ooh, and maybe Taco Bell fries. Like
Really? Of all things from Taco Bell, you're going with their nacho fries?
nacho fries are good. They're good. I could eat anything on Taco Bell's menu.
You know what I
and be
miss from
happy.
Taco Bell? The loaded grillers. I miss loaded grillers from Taco Bell every day of my life.
Loaded
Because their
grillers.
new
What was
cantina
in
stuff
those?
just doesn't hit it for me, man. They used to have like a Chipotle chicken one, which was just like chicken, Chipotle sauce, and sour cream and cheese. They had a beefy nacho one, which is essentially the same thing they have right now on their menu, just cheaper. And they also had a loaded potato one, which was pretty good. And those are back when I was in high school, and they had happier hour from like 2 to 5 p.m. So right after school, we would go to Taco Bell and get $1 Baja Blast and $1 loaded grillers, because loaded grillers used to be on the happier hour menu. So we'd go to Taco Bell with like $8, feed like 3 people, and holy shit, it was good. God, it was a good time. Taco Bell is so expensive and just doesn't hit the same way anymore. It just doesn't hit the same way
Frick you,
anymore,
capitalism.
man.
You know what I love about Taco Bell? They have the online exclusive menu, and you can get like the create your own combo box for like $5.99. You get a double stack taco, a beefy 5, and nachos and cheese with a drink for like $6. And you have to just use the app. And you go through the drive-thru 2 minutes before you place your order. You place the order, 2 minutes later, you go through the drive-thru. It's like nothing changed. But you get it for cheaper than you would individually getting all those items.
I'm not a big fan of their ground beef. I'm definitely more their chicken. Like I like their chicken. I like their steak. Their tacos didn't do it for me. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the way they do their tacos there.
Taco Bell gets hate, but they actually hired a nutritionist, and the nutritionist revamped their entire menu. Like it used to be like quality D, like
back in the good old days when it
it's like quality
it's
D meat.
Fucking cantina chicken for $8 for a burrito. It's the healthy option. I don't go to Taco Bell for the healthy option. In what universe am I going to Taco Bell for the nutritionally sound option?
They're trying to fit in a niche that they shouldn't, right? But I'm still gonna eat there. I still love Taco Bell.
It's essentially the only fast food I eat at this point, but still.
Yeah.
Nutritional value.
Dude, can we talk about how McDonald's thinks that they're worth $15 for a meal? No.
Bro, I ain't been to McDonald's.
McDonald's is on something.
In years. I think I literally went to McDonald's once in the last year, and that's because I kind of had to. I don't go. I ate it so much when I worked there in high school that it lost the allure for me when I went to college because I didn't have McDonald's money. I used to eat McDonald's for free when I was in high school because I worked there.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't. I had a cafeteria that was free, and McDonald's was far away and costed money in college.
Yeah.
So that's when I really fell off of it because I also ate it a ton in high school, and then I just never really ate it since. And then I've seen videos of like people dissecting the chicken nuggets with the microplastics in it. And that's the only thing I can see now. I just can't. I don't think I've eaten McDonald's in forever, but it is
Not
so expensive.
Not worth it. Like they dropped the dollar menu and everything went to shit. It's not good. They're on something. Most fast food places are on something, thinking that they're high and mighty and that they should be worth fast casual money. No, you're fast food. Stop it.
The Wendy's biggie bag ain't too bad.
Yeah, the 5 for 5.
The Wendy's biggie bag ain't too bad. It ain't too bad as far as deals are concerned. I ain't visited the King in a long time.
No.
Arby's used to have a happy hour when they used to have them little tiny sandwiches for like $1. I don't know what happened to them bitches. But Arby's is
sliders.
Arby's is all right.
Arby's is good. 2 for $6 is not bad. Let's see.
But still,
Sonic
Tim Hortons food
expensive.
makes me feel like ass. I don't think I have a Sonic anywhere remotely close to me.
That's
in
unfortunate.
Michigan.
Their drinks are okay. Man, we should do a fast food tier list, me and you. I think my wife and I did one for an episode. I can't remember. It may have been an extra episode, but we should definitely, you and I, do.
I think that was when I was
totally unrelated.
You guys did that.
Yeah. Totally unrelated.
You know what we should do?
RuneScape,
what absolutely fucks that has not failed Michael and I anytime we have spent time together? Michael already knows. What is it, Michael? What's not failed us the times that we've been together in Michigan?
I'm blanking.
Oh, you know. We got it both times we were in Michigan.
White Castle, baby.
No, man, dude.
After
I think it was after Xpwaste North, the first day we were there and we got our tattoos. Michael and I were starving, and we're like, "Yo, what if we just get like 30 sliders and some chicken rings and like send TOA in the hotel?" And we're like, "That's a take right there." We were fucking hammering those.
Oh my gosh, we just needed
sliders,
some sort of alcohol, and it would have been a crazy.
Damn,
fun
I
night.
wish we have. I ought to see if I got a White Castle nearby. I'm gonna go to the gym and then get White Castle and just derail the entire thing.
You could just not do either, and you'd be fine. Like nothing happened.
Nope. I don't think I will. I think I'll make a
Consistency.
bad choice. Yeah.
Well, guys, if you're still here after all that, thank you so much.
If you don't live in the United States and you don't
30.
know what we're talking about, I apologize.
It's a little rant for you. It's a little off-topic rant. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I guess we were featured on
Hannah's video
Hanani. Yeah. Check out Hanani where, you'll see Oxie and I doing a challenge.
I'm so excited.
I can't wait to watch
this video.
Sweet. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much to everyone for making it this far. Check us out on our social media. Check us out on our merch store. Check out our TikTok. Maybe. I don't know. Everything you possibly want is in the description of this episode. Even if you are on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, we have a description there as well. Check out our Patreon. All of that is going to be linked. And maybe you'll catch me or Oxie live on Twitch this week. So follow us on Twitch for that random chance at seeing us. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for everyone who listened again this far. You guys are amazing. Love you all, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.